when the love's gone. I tell my baby put the kitty gloves on and lace them tight. Whether you may call it torch, flashlight, gas lamp, the bed bugs bite, the rug is damp. King Rat camps underneath the floorboard.
Welcome to Bangerz, the podcast formerly known as Goof Troop. I'm your host, Kyle Conway. With me, I have three very illustrious, very temporary guests. To my left, got Alex, Cameron,
hey,
and Jimmy. And today, I had an idea. You guys can overrule me on this, but we have a name for a podcast. If you watch Podcast Zero, which will be uploaded soon, hopefully before you're watching this. We got a name for our little group known as the Game Bangers, and now I think we should kind of figure out what the hell does that mean? What is the group? What are we gonna do with that name? We got a name now. What do we do to rep it?
well, I figured we might do a couple focus groups
True.
in the couple coming weeks to see. One of us is probably going to get replaced because there's always that one odd man out that just doesn't play well with everybody else. So
I've already got mine picked out.
yeah, definitely for sure.
Okay. But first, let's go around the table, see what we've been up to. So I think let's start like last time. Jimmy, what you been up to?
I have been going to work every day. I really haven't been paying as much attention to the YouTube channel as I should. It's been about a month since I uploaded a video, but
Those fans
I know,
are hurting.
poor guys.
I really haven't been paying any attention to the YouTube channel.
Oh, there's a guy who walks up to me every day at work and asks why I haven't put up a new video.
Oh.
I've had several people message me about specifically HeroClix. There are a lot of people who watch it for the HeroClix content. And yeah. Either way, I didn't feel very important until then. But I haven't been doing it because at the beginning of the year, I did like the whole New Year's resolution thing to start writing again. So I had written a novel before, and sorry about that. I had written a novel before, a few, and I am working on editing them now and have a number of pages per day goal. And then once those are finished, then I'll continue writing. Is the plan for 2018. So a lot of time has been dedicated to that.
What prompted that? Just the writing again.
Yeah, a lot of things started coming into play where, I don't know, it was just like random things that made me think of it. So then the decision kind of came about because I had people who were asking me like, oh, didn't you used to write stuff? Whatever happened to that? And like kind of brought up a conversation that kind of made me think about it again. And then I was actually cleaning out our game room because Lib, my wife, wanted me to gut it out. And while doing it, I had found a packet of denial letters from agencies. And
That's
it was
good.
Yes.
Really boosted your spirit.
Dredge that up.
Well, I figured,
oh, this is why.
It was time to finally conquer that.
These.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to keep them though, because each one you open up and it's like, I don't know, it seems very professional.
Yeah.
Having referenced your book and why they don't like it, and then
Could you tell if they read it or not? Or
you could tell. Yeah, there were a lot of people, and the biggest thing with how books used to be published was you send it to an agent. They represent you for companies that would publish the book but wouldn't take unsolicited stuff. So like you had agents who were able to use their repute to get your stuff published. They were super busy because each person can rep like a max of 12 people based on how much time it takes for each book. So like you can imagine the good guys are taken all the time. So most of the time you send something and you end up getting, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a formal response. I'm just very busy right now. And it's like stamped by the guy's assistant. So
Gotcha. So was this the agent phase, or are you trying to get an agent to pick you up?
yeah,
Okay,
I had
gotcha.
never wanted to do a publishing thing directly because I was still in high school and I was trying to get it published, and I didn't know how any of the like profit part worked. And they're the ones who are supposed to kind of discuss that part and how it's supposed to be marketed and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't know anything.
I'll say we know someone sort of tangentially who did that. We can maybe suggest a meet or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how well his thing went. Probably not well now that I think about it, but maybe that's a lesson. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Right now, though, the goal was just to finish editing it by February, just to get it out there finally through Kindle.
Okay.
Because you can publish for free on there and you can decide how much your book is going to go for. I was just going to put the thing out for free and then work on the second one and then put the second one out for maybe like $2.
I think that would almost hurt. I have no idea what the Kindle space is like.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like as opposed to 99 cents, like is 99 cents better than free?
Then free, yeah.
Because someone will look at free and
Somebody
like,
kind
oh.
of works for it. Kind of thing. Yeah. True.
It's a fanfic. Like, it's just...
I know 99 cents. Those books are all over the place. So I figure those people already in that dollar Kindle weeds.
Is there
may pick it
nobody
up.
monitoring the publishing on the Kindle?
Oh no, they definitely do.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
Someone
has to read your shit book.
So there's a reason why I know. There's bestiality is not a topic you can write about at all. So there's a whole subsection of romance novels trying to get around that. I forget how they did it. I think it was like they had the spirit of the wolf or something like. There's a lot of like code words for
Our spirits coalesce.
this lady's fucking a wolf, but not really because we want to get on Amazon. But yeah, someone definitely monitors that. Though I'm sure it's like YouTube where it's like
Very loose.
some blanket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I don't know. I wonder how many books come out on Amazon. Probably a lot, I imagine.
I would think so many.
And it would take a lot longer than a video. You actually have to pay attention unless they scan for words.
I would think,
Or
There
like,
you go, that could be it. That's
like
probably
And,
easy.
and
to
if they
do.
hit a keyword,
Yeah, BCI. Okay, out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you in the same sentence you get fucking and wolf at the same time, like,
Yeah.
someone they call it, they buzz down like, all right, someone needs to check this shit
It
out.
pops up on Jeff Bezos' desk.
He's like, every once in a while he's feeling risky, clears it like just without reading.
Yeah.
Just,
Checks if the book is good enough. Like, is this the moment I allow it?
I'm the richest man in the world.
it's like, the sentence is, I killed that fucking wolf.
That's cool, man. Is that bit? No games, no movies, nothing like that. I mean, books are decent, so
You mean for like
just
what my attention has been towards?
Yeah, what you've done with your time.
I gotcha. Well, yeah. So what I try to do is like set a timer for an hour and 45 minutes every time I get home from work, and then that's the time I dedicate to it. Other than that, been watching been watching shows on Netflix with Lib.
Anything of note, or is
We
it
just finished Dark first season.
boy?
So
Yes, sir.
That's
spoilers,
good.
no spoilers.
Yeah.
You haven't finished?
No, I'm on episode 5, I think.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm on
you should have
episode
watched none.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very beginning.
But what'd you think? Without spoilers.
I would say it was good. The end.
Wait, don't say it.
Yeah. Let's describe, let's talk
You
about
guys
it.
can do your own Dark podcast.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We should just discuss it in private because I feel like there's not much you could discuss about that show because
Without-
there are so many twists without really indicating what might happen.
Even saying there are so many twists could in fact.
I think anybody who knows it's
It does seem like a twisty
Yeah,
show.
for sure.
It does.
From the very
mystery, a
beginning.
thriller.
One question: are you watching it with subtitles or are you watching it with the English?
I'm
dub?
watching it in German with the English subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just-
I say Jimmy seems like he's on the level.
What my mom tried to watch it. She said, "This is the biggest piece of hot garbage."
She's not
ever."
on the level though.
No,
You
absolutely.
watch
not.
anime. You've seen
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he's on the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to read
Some
when I
dove
watch it."
pieces
Yeah.
of shit. Let's get that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one thing before I relinquish my week, one thing about the writing thing was whenever I was younger, I was like, I want to write one book in every genre, and I finally came up with my erotica. It's gonna be great.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Good luck.
After
Hey, I mean,
watching
you
Dark,
can do
or-
that.
What?
You should. Yeah, I think you should do it. I would totally support you.
Of all the books you might write, that would
Now,
probably be the one. That I'd
maybe
get into. I don't read
if
books.
I
I would read
consistently
that.
write.
It would create a buzz within our group for
Yeah,
sure.
True. 20 years down the road, maybe after I've
When shit gets real
searched
weird.
all
Yeah,
the rest of the stuff. Yeah.
They sat on the bench
Yeah.
at the end of the table.
when all the porn has run out.
That's
It
right.
doesn't do it for you anymore.
Net neutrality.
Yeah.
You're on the last video. You
Damn,
you
what a
busted
dark
that last
timeline.
nut, and then you're there making up your own shit.
At that point, Ajit needs to like truly fear for his life.
Yeah.
Because that's when it's all over for
Yeah.
him.
Him and his kin
Yeah.
and his
Even his
children.
bodyguards are looking at him like, hey, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Time to go. But all right,
Well,
that's cool, man.
that was it, though.
How about you, man?
I've been fairly busy since the end of the last year. I had a conversation with my wife, as most people do at the new year. You kind of set goals for yourself and whatever. So I was talking to my wife, and I just told her, honey, I really want to rededicate myself to video games. And she said, I'm very disappointed in that answer. So I have, within the last 2 weeks, finished two pretty good games. I played Cuphead, start to finish. Took me about 4 days. I didn't love it. I thought that the art was incredible. The soundtrack was pretty awesome. The gameplay, I don't know.
Do you need a trash can?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't the worst game I've played this year. It wasn't the worst type of game that I've ever played like that. But it just wasn't as satisfying as a lot of those other, those masochistic games where you kind of like you just beat yourself over the head with it when you're trying to get through it. You finally get through and you have that big moment where you've beaten this game. I rarely did those come. It was more like, fuck this game, it's so boring. It didn't strike that chord with me as someone. I really enjoy the Souls games. So it didn't scratch that itch. And I also was struggling with some performance issues. I think you were there.
Yeah,
were watching.
We definitely saw
That's
it.
a game that
a lot of hitching.
Yeah, it matters. It's a game that is second to second. Like the game, you've got 3 lives, depending on what upgrades you've taken, 3, 4, 5 lives, and you're trying to make it through this level that's already full of a bunch of bullshit. That's most of the levels are completely randomized. It's not a level that's scripted for the most part. I don't know if the game's responding to your inputs or if it's just completely random always, or if it's like actually based on your position, whether or not what the enemy's going to do. I don't know if that's happening. So you take that, that's already fucking annoying. So you can get these combinations of attacks from the enemy, from the bosses that are just they might be passable, but most of the time you're going to take a hit just based on the combination that the game's throwing at you. I'm sure there are really good players out there that can, avoid every type of obstacle, but a lot of the instances felt like thoroughly impossible. Like when I saw certain obstacles, I would just, stop and restart the game. It just get to an easy one rather than have to fuck around. The one I'm thinking about is the genie in the bottle. Like he would, the first thing, he either throw some cats at you, throw some blades at you, or throw some treasure. The treasure, I took a hit every single time I played it. So if he opened the fucking treasure box, I immediately just, stopped, restart the level, wait for the blades. You get through without taking a hit every time. I didn't like that the game made me want to do that. It felt like I was cheesing it in some ways.
Well, for me, I wasn't thinking about the genie one. I was thinking about the dragon.
Oh, the dragon.
Or the cloud placement.
Yeah.
Depending on which
There's
I'm sure.
Cloud missing.
Oh yeah, there's certain formations of clouds where basically if you haven't seen the game Cuphead, there's a dragon boss fight where you have to jump from cloud to cloud as you're shooting this guy, and the cloud placement is I guess random, but definitely random within a certain rule set, and there is certain combinations where if you haven't seen this far ahead of time, you're just in a bad spot and you're going to lose at least a life guaranteed, and that seemed unfortunate.
A lot of the game didn't feel like. I never beat any of the bosses on the first try. Every one of them felt like, all right, let's get to this next portion. Okay, what does he do? Okay, I died. Okay, let's go back, play the whole first part again. Usually they fill the first part full of the bullshit that's really hard to get through. So you have to every time you fucking slog through the first section of the game, of the boss fight, and then you get to the next part where there might be some interesting things going on. And then whenever you you get there, then you, like I said, you beat whatever that obstacle is. You figure out the trick or whatever it is to that. You move on to the next one. You die again. You go back to the first one. You slog through the first part. You get through the next part that you have figured out. You do that 4 or 5 times until the fight's over. And I don't know.
It did seem like boss over mechanics almost, which I'm not sure if that's a bad thing or not. But I think the one game I keep thinking of over and over again when you bring up Cuphead is Super Meat Boy, where it was just mechanics. Yes. And when they introduce something new, or even a boss character, there may be something new with him, but it's tying all the way back to what you've learned through the previous couple hours of the game. So it kind of all comes together in one big thing. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just dying because I have to, until I either A, figure out what the trick is with this boss, which again, I'm not sure that's a bad thing or not, but also 2, I get a good sort of luck of the draw, which I think that kind of sucks.
Yeah, the luck of the draw is the part that really kind of turns me off. And then we were headed there a minute ago, but I forgot to elaborate on it. The hitching up, where, like I said, it's the game's moment to moment, and you're worried about taking a fireball to the face or not. And all of a sudden, the game skips forward, even if it's like a quarter of a second or a half a second. I played through the first probably 2 worlds, feeling like something was going on. And then I was sitting there, it was late one night, and Kyle was over. Were you there?
Mm-hmm.
Alex was there, and we were watching it, and Kyle made a comment. He's like, did that just hit you? And I said, it felt like it, didn't it? And after that, it kind of opened my eyes, and it happened more often. It was probably almost once per level you would see something happen, and that might be it might be something that doesn't matter. You might just be hitting a jump or whatever, but you might be in some type of bullet hell baloney where there's shit flying all across the game, and next thing you know, you've skipped ahead, a quarter of a second, and also the projectiles on top of you. Like that happened over and over. It pissed me off so fucking much.
The worst one to me, it was that one running gun level. I don't remember what it's called, but it has that octopus that spins his arms. So that whole once you get to a certain part of that level, you gotta go. Yeah. So seeing that hitching there is like that seems very irritating.
You're like catching it. It's like the screen can't keep up with it. Play the game. If you don't have a problem with it, blame it on the fucking Xbox.
Try it out.
It's a piece of junk.
After playing it, I have less of a chance of playing it.
I wouldn't. If you really want to see what that game has to offer, go watch somebody speedrun the thing.
I feel like I kind of that was the experience. Like it looks real cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I almost have watching somebody else play it. You get to sit back and appreciate what's going on in the background. Yeah. And you see a whole bunch of things that you don't normally see. So it's really cool to see what they've done in those levels. But most of the time you're just focused on whatever the boss is doing and seeing everything else in your peripherals and not taking any of that's the best looking game of the century. You're completely ignoring it. That's
my issue with quick time event type games too. Even though I like a lot of them, like whenever that pops up, like the big X, like cool, let me ignore everything around the big X. Yeah. Certain games handle that a little bit better though, like David Cage games, that sort of thing.
I went from that game, which I beat it. Wasn't, like I said, I wasn't super satisfied when it was done. I was like threw the controller across the room. I got glad that's over. And I went to I got the Insane trilogy, Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy for Christmas, and I played through the first one, which I don't know if I was much better video gamer when I was 7 years old when that game came out, but that game kicked my ass replaying through it. Maybe they upped the difficulty level or something, but it beat my ass every time I would start a level. There was 2 levels specifically that were memorable. Both of them included running across a bridge, straight down. Yeah. Did y'all play those games?
No, I know about the Notorious Bridge, though.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah. I had not heard of it. I didn't remember it from my childhood.
Video Game Donkey, his video about Crash Bandicoot, like half of it's dedicated to the bridge.
And it should be.
Yeah.
Everybody who has played the game, and I mentioned this too, we all resorted to the exact same solution.
Tightrope walking?
To walk on the fucking... Nobody beats the level like it's supposed to be. You jump on the rope.
I don't think you can.
And it's supposed to force you mentally to adapt and overcome. Jump on the rope, walk slowly all the way down there. I came into the first one. I resorted to the rope much faster. I found it out. I was like, I don't want to deal with this shit. I didn't have the rope time. The second one, I had 20 lives going into it. I'm like, I'm gonna beat this shit straight up. I did not get to the first checkpoint. Not the first checkpoint. So I died. You get 4 lives when you retry the level, and of course I beat it. I maybe lost 1 life by falling off the tightrope, but I don't know. It felt like some bullshit. But with that said, I have had an incredible time. I loved the game as a kid, and I think it's really cool to see it now with what they've done for it. I'd like to go back and see. I've heard people talk about how the controls feel a little bit more floaty in this one.
I did hear they changed some things for sure.
I'm sure they did. Back then, when Crash 1 came out, did we even have the DualShock controller? I think it was just...
Not when Crash 1 came out.
No, I'm pretty sure it was just D-pad. Yeah. So, playing it like that, I did try. I haven't played a game with a D-pad in a very long time. So, I, of course, resorted back to the analog stick. Maybe it would be better. I'm not sure. But either way, I've had a really fun time playing that. I've moved on to Crash 2. And that one, it's not as much of as difficult. It's more like having a good time. They've added a couple different moves. You can slide, you can do a body slam. So I don't know, I've just had more fun with that one. The first one was really great, walk down memory lane, trying to decide how in that world my 7-year-old self beat this game.
I wish I had any sort of nostalgia towards that series. I don't.
I don't know if you need to have played it to enjoy playing the game. I don't think that it would be as good, but I think for one of those games, for a remaster, I think they did a really good job. And it's super fun to go back and see it happen. Skylar's enjoying playing it too.
I relegate to the same space that in Sonic is.
Fuck you.
Well, no, hold up. The time and place, okay. Sonic was pretty damn good. And also, I used to play Sonic, but even then,
Sonic sucks.
There was a brand new Sonic that came out that was apparently really good in 2017. I don't want to play it.
Sonic,
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania.
Yeah. There's just nothing in me. I figure
you're probably right.
If there's one of the two games I would want to play, I figure it's that. But there's just I don't know.
I have no love for Sonic. Just like
Sonic 2
maybe
is
you
dope.
have no love for Crash.
I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was there.
Crash is
What platform was Crash?
better. PlayStation.
Yeah.
It was.
only
It was made
PlayStation.
by Naughty Dog.
Yeah, never had it.
And was it only PS1? There
Yes.
was there's no PS2 ones?
Oh,
Like the kart
No,
racer or whatever?
no, they moved on to Jack and Daxter on PS2, right?
I figured maybe they farmed it out to another studio or
Yeah,
something.
I think
maybe
it's
you're
only
right.
available on PS1.
You're probably right. If anyone's right too.
Yeah, because I'm not the foremost Crash expert.
Yeah,
here.
probably.
Yeah.
I played the games as a kid. It was Crash Team Racing, by the way.
That's right. Yeah.
And they also had Crash Bash, which was like a Mario Party for Crash.
Very cool.
Right? I think
Probably.
I remember bouncing around on like little tiny it's like bumper cars. I don't remember very well, but it was fun.
Anything else? Any film, music, that sort of thing?
Music. No. Been listening to Brandy, You're a Fine Girl on repeat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
not bad.
pretty
Yeah, it's all right.
cool. So, movies I watched. Oh man, just saw it. It was Get Out. Hadn't seen it. You know,
Literally watched that last night. So.
had heard good things, so maybe we can
No,
we can talk.
fuck y'all. We'll
show.
talk about that.
I've seen Get Out.
Okay, you're
Jimmy's
back
seen
in.
it. Okay,
Jimmy,
everyone,
you're still out.
everyone can come to our Get Out things. I'm at this point. It's what almost a year gone. So
Yeah, we're just
everyone,
waiting on that.
everyone's already
with
said
it.
their opinions on it. I thought it was really fun. I had a really great time.
That's a
watching
perfect word for
it.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
said it was fun.
Fun.
It was super
Yeah.
fun. There's probably some other
fun,
movies.
fun from a white perspective. I don't know if there was supposed to be a deeper meaning there for. I mean, there's definitely like
obviously.
cultural appropriation and all that stuff, and I definitely have a greater mistrust towards white people. So
Immediately. Yes.
yeah, I don't trust any
I've
of us.
I've always been harboring that.
Yeah.
So
Can't live with them.
Yeah.
Can't live without them. White people.
Maybe you have.
I liked it. I liked how different the tension was compared to other horror movies. It was just uncomfortable. Like it wasn't super scary. You just felt uneasy the entire time, and I thought that was a real.
yeah, I don't know. Would you qualify that movie as a horror movie or
It's
is
suspense.
it suspense comedy?
It's
It's
thriller.
something
like that.
It's a really
like
weird.
a Dean Koontz novel or something.
Who was the
There-
first actor? The first the guy walking down the street who gets abducted by the. Do you know that guy's name?
It's been a while for me.
No, he's
Okay.
is he a notable actor?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
But like, I wish there was more of him because he was cracking me up. Like I was like, no, I know what happens to people out here. He like turns around. I thought that was probably the hardest I laughed in the whole movie. And I mean, the rest of the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it, but they kind of they whiteified him, and I was like, damn it.
Have you seen the alternate ending to that movie?
No, I saw that they had one,
Yeah.
and I was wondering what the hell it was. But
Shit. How does the movie actually end? Just for my.
Wait, Rod pulls up.
TSA.
Shit.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
How's the movie? Do you want to?
he's seen it. He's seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay.
I found the ending very satisfying. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
there was an alternate one.
Yeah, great twist.
Yeah, he changed it at the. All right, so I think, yeah, this would make sense. So the alternate ending is, I guess, instead of his buddy coming out of, was it a cop car?
It was
It's a
TSA.
TSA airport security
TSA?
car.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think besides him pulling up, instead, police pull up, and then he gets arrested.
Yeah.
Which is what you think is going to happen.
Framed for the whole thing, yeah. So what they alluded to did actually happen in the first. This was what the original ending was supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if they shot that out to see how people felt about it.
Yeah, I
would've
would have
felt-
been really
Well,
annoyed.
he gives
yeah.
his reason. He said, I forget when did the movie come out. 2016, I imagine.
I think it was beginning of last year.
It was the very beginning of 2017. I think.
It might have
Okay.
been. It might have been out in 16. I remember it being.
It
out
could have
in
been.
17.
It was before Trump happened because he said the reason why he didn't go that way and he went the other way. He felt there was a lot of good conversations going on related to race. And he's like, well, people are. I think he even says like I think people are a lot more woke than they used to be. So he's like, this just seems like I don't know unnecessary. So let's make it fun. So they switched
Yeah.
to the other one
That was a really good moment.
because it ends with him in the prison on the phone with his buddy on the
Right.
other side, and it is kind of a depressing ending from what I remember. Like, hey,
Wow.
this is just how shit is.
It doesn't really run with the rest of the film.
It's funny because I saw it on Amazon and it said with alternate ending. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that. Now hearing it, I would not have wanted to see that movie at least as my first run through. Maybe as a.
Yeah, it's kind of like have you seen the Clerks alternate ending?
No.
Have everyone here seen the Clerks?
Nope.
It's great. This isn't going to spoil anything unless you really want to see that alternate ending. So Clerks, funny comedy, done on a very low budget. Highly recommend anyone see it, especially if they're in a film. The alternate ending, the main character dies. Guy walks in, blows his brains out. That's the alternate ending.
At movies?
Yeah, studio said that was too dark. I agree. And also doesn't leave it open for a sequel
For movies,
15 years later.
Clerks too.
Yeah, so I think it just actually ends with him closing up the shop, which is probably the right way to do it. But yeah, the first alternate, that's one of the few like alternate endings. Like, oh shit, they went a different route. And it wasn't like, oh, this is just terrible. It's like, no, okay, this is a different movie now. Yeah, that's cool. Get Out's definitely a good movie. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it again though. I don't know if it has that sort of.
I'd watch it to introduce it to someone else.
Yeah, that's maybe something. Yeah.
It's not like that movie. Maybe I wasn't watching it as like to see the big reveal. Like I felt like it was more on the comedy side anyway. So it wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was watching Prisoners and I was like trying to solve this mystery as we went along. Yes, it didn't feel like that to me. So it does have, I think, for me, rewatch. We're not watching The Village here. Like
Yeah.
they got their twist and it's over.
Maybe it's like missing spectacle for me because I think of movies like what's that what is it, Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where there's that whole third final sequence is I think just fantastic for anyone even remotely interested in horror. So that's one like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it again because where the hell else am I gonna see all these different movie franchises together just kicking ass? Like, whereas Get Out definitely is very good, but I don't know, it doesn't have, no, it does have some cool moments. It has the TV sort of indoctrination thing. That's cool, I guess. Maybe I'll consider it. That's cool, man.
I was just sitting there like, please don't be the white people. Like, please, like, let's go a different.
You
and then
knew.
Yeah, you knew immediately.
Skylar called the whole premise almost immediately.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was like, you know, like the steamroller coming at you. Like, damn it, the white people are about to screw up this whole thing.
Well, especially, did you see it like the week it came out or something?
No, I just saw it
Last
last
night.
night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very fresh for me.
Did you see any buzz about it at all when it came out?
The only thing that I really heard about it was from like
the worker running down with it.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That was
a
kind of
decent
my
one.
only.
I think memes and I think some Twitter talk about it, but that was it.
I saw a decent amount, so I definitely knew what the major. And when you say like bunch of racist petition, like okay, fine. I kind of understand where this is probably gonna go.
Yeah, I missed that somehow.
Yeah, because
Go you,
I'm
man.
not into pop culture enough. I knew that everyone was talking like, oh, this movie's incredible.
I was
There's
out
a lot
in
of
California at the time, so we were more concerned.
Yeah,
about
you were all woke
avocados.
anyway. Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Avocado shortage.
That's cool. Anything else?
I'm sure, but I just can't remember right now.
How about you, Alex?
Okay, so I guess we had from a personal standpoint, we had a bit of a rough ending over at the Davis household for 2017. So we're kind of just jumping into 2018, and immediately I got sick. So that was great. Yeah, I've been fighting off I guess the flu or a cold here for the last couple of days. So
I don't think the flu exists.
Very considerate for you to show up.
yeah,
I don't think it exists. I think it's a
Bring
bunch of
the flu.
fakers.
I mean,
Until I get it, I'm just like, oh, get over it, man.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll eat my words probably.
Yeah. And then, so getting over that, I have 2 New Year's resolutions. The first, if you are watching this and not just listening, you'll probably notice that my beard is considerably longer than last time. I think it's about a month out.
And
since
only
we
a
first
week.
shot.
Yeah, only a
Only
week.
a week.
Yeah, well done.
Actually, the following day is when we're recording this. So that's going good. I don't really know where I'm gonna take it. I don't want a ridiculously long beard, but I just wanted to kind of have some fun with it because I've never really grown it past 2 weeks. So now I'm on about 2 months. It's funny how everybody's beard grows differently. Some people might see this and like, oh, 2 months, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some people might see like, man, I had like a 4-foot beard by 2 months. So
Bitch boy.
yeah,
Little bitch.
so we'll see on that. The other one is the very, I guess, a cliche get back in shape. Like 4 years ago, I was considerably more in shape, and I was going on 50-mile bike rides and having a blast. And now I'm doing. I'm still. I can do 20 miles right now, but it's uncomfortable. So
Sounds uncomfortable.
yeah, it is a little.
Yeah, 20 miles.
Yeah.
How much chafing is going on?
Shaping's not. It's just the ass, man. That's gotta.
On a bike?
Unless you got a good seat, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been pretty comfortable on my seat, but
Got one of those like banana seats.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just the pole. It just plugs in. Yeah, just charges you the whole time. No, so that's my very predictable. So beard's going good. Actually, getting in shape and weight loss is going good too. I think I'm down as of this morning. Like maybe we can thank the flu for that too.
Yeah.
Down 9 pounds since the beginning of December. I managed to get through the holidays without gaining any weight, so that's sweet.
I've just been avoiding the scale like for the last
That'd be a great
12
magazine.
months.
Yeah, motherfucker, you're skinny.
Yeah.
It's not true. I definitely been gaining weight. I've just been ignoring the fact that it's happening.
I just like the magazine cover for Alex. Alex, top weight loss tip.
Yeah.
The flu.
The flu. Yeah. No, that's definitely a hot tip. If you go to a maybe any sort of kid gathering, like a little birthday party, just like, touch anything that's there and you'll get sick.
Read a BuzzFeed article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CC's Pizza also
A wiki,
very good.
wiki how. I heard the mono will do wonders. For you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you lose your appetite. You don't eat.
I guess
Yeah,
that's true.
mono was real rough for me. Like, I only got that a
I
couple
had a
years
good
ago.
ass time.
I never got mono. I only associate mono with playing Gears of War.
Yeah, Gears of War 2.
Yeah,
just,
it
oh,
increases
so
your
hard.
Gears of War play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got
Seems like a
mono
cool
4
disease.
years ago. That shit put me in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, it was like
You get larger spleen.
the later on you get it in
Gets
life
worse,
is
yeah.
the worse it is. So if you get mono when
fuck.
you're at 60, you're like
Very
fucking done.
cool.
Yeah, we're both gonna die.
Yeah.
So
Did you tell the nurses that you kiss real good? That's why you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to
Got
see
these
if they
big
want
old
some.
lips.
Yeah.
Brush the mustache aside
Yeah.
for you. So what else we doing? I watched Get Out last night. I thought that was very good. I watched.
Is that like on a streaming service right now or something?
It's on HBO Go.
Okay, makes sense.
And I watched. What's the movie? Call Me by Your Name, which was it's a 17-year-old gay coming of age story.
Okay.
So if you're wanting to kind of branch out, it's definitely not my usual cup of tea. I thought it was really good. It definitely made you think about some things differently, and the whole thing was well shot. But I'm not going to dissect it any further than that. I'm gonna let, if you want to watch it, fine.
I still gotta watch Moonlight.
So
So.
I watched a movie that kind of reminds me of that. It was Thinker as well as John Wick 2.
Mhm.
Man, it really puts it in perspective.
And it was very surprising
Yeah.
when John Wick came out at the end.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, I call that. from
To
the
be
beginning.
honest, it was a little distracting and didn't fit.
Yeah.
But
I like where they went with it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were willing to go there.
yeah,
No, I did also recently really see that movie, and I thought that was. It wasn't.
it wasn't the same.
It wasn't.
It was
one.
fun though.
It was. Yes,
Yeah.
it was very fun.
The action sequences are awesome still. I think.
Oh yeah,
They are.
The
I don't-
lighting in the glass like area. And the second
Yeah.
one is really cool.
Yeah,
I thought.
it's in the museum, Kyle. Remember, there's like the Hall of Mirrors.
Oh yeah,
It's
where
the New World Art Display.
against like Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose,
There you
yes,
go, yeah.
who is
I liked her
also
character.
mute.
Yeah, that was a cool
It was
characteristic.
See you later.
Yeah.
You said, sure.
Yeah.
It was-
There was a lot of charming things about it, but yeah, it definitely didn't have whatever. I don't know how you would get it. Just because,
again,
yeah, because John.
who was expecting John Wick 1?
Yeah. I
Nobody.
remember walking into a theater on a lark on John Wick. I had the whole theater to myself. It was amazing, and everyone was like, "Oh fuck, this is great." I gotta
Yeah.
tell someone about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even describing it was tough back then. It's like, oh well, what's different? Well, a guy gets real mad and kills people, but it's good. Trust me, go watch it.
It's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of Keanu, I don't know how that movie affects everybody else, but when I have a real fondness for that man. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's definitely increasing.
Just something
like,
about
his stock is going up.
I'm loving that.
At
dude.
this point, everybody's
I
seen
don't
the
know what
actual
else he's
training
doing.
videos, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
it's incredible. Like the man, like actually,
He lives it.
Yeah, everything from shooting
He
to
is
like
John
Aikido.
Wick.
We should have known was Neo training that. Like perfect. Yeah, he is the one,
Slotted right in there.
Yeah.
and he hasn't aged a day. CDs have aged more than him. There's CDs you cannot play anymore
Yeah.
because they've degraded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're corrupted
Yeah.
too far.
Yeah.
Keanu looks the same. He does not age, but yeah, that's good shit. That's a good movie.
And there's something else I
Big
think
fan.
we all forgot. It was that we've been playing a lot of Fortnite.
Yeah.
We kind of somehow all
Yeah.
overlooked that. That's kind of absorbed.
Because that's
our-
that's like the sun in our world.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
like we're not thinking about that.
Yeah, it's just always there.
ever present,
Ever present Fortnite.
always providing
Yeah.
us moments of joy and splendor. It's
and depression.
yeah. I think as a team,
I haven't
we're-
hit that yet.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to build that staircase.
I think we're up to 4 group wins right now.
Something like that,
We played a handful of games.
3 of them in one night.
Yeah. It was back to back to back to back. Yeah, so we had a pretty good day there. It's kind of hard to get everybody together, different schedules and everything, but when you do, it's definitely is a pretty good squad to be able to.
Yeah. If
Run
you
the train
haven't
on
somehow
those.
played Fortnite, I would suggest playing
It's
it because
just
it's a lot of fun.
free.
Yeah.
It's just free.
Yeah, I think that's its biggest. Yeah.
Well, it's also I feel like it's got a really low ceiling or a really low floor. And I'm not gonna say it's not a super high ceiling, but there's a gap there between.
Yeah.
There's a definite skill gap.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, it is smaller than PUBG though in terms of skill gap. Where like
Yeah,
if someone sees you from like 200 yards away, like you're fucked.
I did
in
hear that
PUBG.
they're gonna be. I don't know. I don't exactly remember where I heard this. They're supposed to be overhauling the shooting mechanics in that game. That could drastically change.
Oh yeah.
For PUBG? Or,
Yeah, well, because
And I'm sure like a new map would also change it. Like PUBG has hills and stuff all over the place, so you can like sniper nest. Whereas
they're adding a new town in Fortnite.
there you go.
Yeah.
Whereas because Fortnite, even though it does have hills, it feels more flat to me than PUBG does. So I think that also makes it different.
Depends on the side of the map you play on, right?
Yeah,
There's that
we're
too.
predominantly a northern
Yeah,
northern
yeah.
tribe.
Hey, bro, don't get us
Yeah,
right.
do not get out of the
Don't get
strategy.
King of the North.
Yeah. 3 wins in a night.
Yeah.
Bunch of Korean
And
gamers. like,
we
taking
didn't play
notes.
that many games. We played like 6-7 games, 1-3 games.
Yeah. I think the thing for me that it makes me enjoy that game is if I play PUBG, which I should say have not played that game, but if I were and I know that I will be bad at it, it's like the realism of it, like how it looks realistic, the leaning and all that stuff, the intricacies of the strategy, I would be bad at it. Versus when I'm playing Fortnite, I'm bad. I'm semi-bad. I would say I'm getting a little better now.
Yeah.
But I'm still bad at a cartoon-looking game, which is kind of more fun to me.
It's
Like,
definitely
It's more lighthearted.
it's smoother.
Yes, it
it's
is.
lighthearted. The barrier to end. I think even the games are a decent amount shorter.
Mhm.
Whereas PUBG, if you make it like towards the end, like I think you're at least 20 minutes in at that point. And if you're not suited up to a certain way, there's no way in hell. Like even more than Fortnite, where like, oh, clearly I needed to get more stuff. PUBG, if you don't have certain items, you're damn near fucked at that point.
Yeah.
I think like 3/4 of this table have not played PUBG,
Yeah.
so it's.
I will
we're
say,
not well suited for it.
yeah, and I will say, if Fortnite could get vehicles, I would very much enjoy that. I
But
don't know how they
map-
would
I
with
don't
the
think
current
map
map.
supports
I
it.
don't think they
Well,
even
that's
need
what maybe a
vehicles,
new
but-
map.
Oh, there's going to be a new underground mining area also.
Yeah.
In Fortnite.
That could be pretty cool.
But I think for me, like just maybe more launchpad mechanics. Like so, like the launchpad itself is kind of cool, but maybe if there's just a couple spots on the map that there's like
it's
an
an epic item. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
geyser or something.
yeah,
that
like
shoots
something
you
that
off.
would just shoot you up in the air and then you could guide,
I think
glide around.
geyser.
Maybe like a vehicle on a limited timer. Like it takes up an item slot. Like you all like equip bikes or something real cool. I just want to ride with the boys.
Yeah,
And if
the
Fortnite could
boys.
have that happen, because
Yeah.
I've seen it in PUBG.
Yeah, I've seen
But no
those
one else has
moments too.
PUBG.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a game that if everybody else is playing a free game, like why am I going to force everyone to play PUBG? I guess
Yeah.
I could get it and you and I could play.
I haven't played it recently, so
Does,
if you wanted
who
to
has
play,
an Xbox?
I do.
You have an Xbox? You have an Xbox?
yeah.
So I don't even know if I know anybody else who owns an Xbox actually. And not that I really want to play that
So you
version
can
of the
play with
game.
my dad.
Yeah. Ooh.
He
My-
is
my
playing
dad,
PUBG.
My dad also has
Yeah.
an Xbox. So
Is he still playing Minecraft?
No, he plays primarily FIFA right
Ah,
now.
okay.
He's-
Those are both two
he's-
hardcore games.
He's
So.
balls deep in the Ultimate Team right now, yelling at the game for. My mom comes to work and
He's
talks
opening
shit.
packs.
Yeah, he's like, man, every night I just hear him out there cursing up a storm, yelling at
Stupid
fucking
woman.
FIFA. Fucking
Amazing.
FIFA.
Amazing.
Anything else for you?
Not so much. Just kind of find a track. Still adjusting being back in Florida, so there's that.
Sunburns.
3 hours behind.
Yeah, it's just like behind the real.
I have
stuff
that
for a
issue
little
too.
bit.
Not sure why.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years.
Yeah.
No, it's been a little over a year for me. Yeah. That's cool. For me, there hasn't been too much. Definitely not a lot of new stuff. Restarted the game Transistor, so that's been fun.
How far in?
again, since we last talked, I have not played it.
Okay.
So it's been about a week since I last played it, but I beat the first boss character basically. I like the combat mechanics a lot more than my first go
Keep
around.
playing, they get
Yeah.
really intricate.
I'm not sure why it didn't click with me the first go round, but this go round I really like it.
Yeah.
The world too. It feels like maybe the first time I played it, I wasn't absorbing anything at all because like I'm reading all the flavor text from like the terminals.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, what weather would you like? I was like,
Yeah.
I remember the first time thinking like, oh, this is just some bullshit, and then the second time I played it, like, oh, we're voting on what the weather's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because this is a
This is the
digital
city.
world. For some
Yeah.
reason, I don't know how that went over my head, or maybe I just wasn't engaged at all. But finally, like, okay, this is real interesting and real weird.
The way that game opens up immediately, like, sucked me in.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I loved the first game, Bastion. I loved that game. Those were two games that I played almost in one sitting apiece. I think I ended up having I came out in 2014, so I was probably still
Yeah.
in school. So I maybe had to go to school that day, and I came home and finished again that night. After
Yeah, when
starting
it comes to
before.
presentation, I don't know. They just do it so. It's such a tight product they put out
Yeah.
every single release.
I haven't played Fire.
To the point where
I should.
when with transistors specifically, it almost washes over me. I think that's what happened the first go around. It was just all so good, so I didn't really focus on any individual thing. It was just like the whole time, and then when I stopped for some
The
reason.
soundtrack in that one is also really.
The main theme to that,
Yeah.
I really love whatever that main theme to that song
That
or
was-
transistor is.
I don't get. I'm not an audiophile or anything, but that's one of the games that I played the game, went download the soundtrack, put it on my phone.
I have nothing to back this up, but I have a feeling with their audio specifically, they use less compression. I don't know why I think that, but it sounds so fucking good, even
Clear.
compared to other. Yeah, just clear and very like with almost an intentional hand behind it. Like, oh, they used a WAV or a FLAC file, and
I
just
wonder.
because their games are
I
usually
wonder.
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you think about at least their first two games, like the voice overs matter
Yeah.
and their constant presence.
Yeah, whenever you heard about Bastion, that was that
Yeah,
was kind of the thing.
that was the
you're
thing.
narrated by a guy.
And people love that
Lo-
guy's voice
Logan
so much.
Cunningham, I think his name is.
I had
Yeah.
no idea. You
I'm
would
pretty sure.
definitely know it.
Maybe. I was Bastion. I played the game. I started. It was probably, I don't know. I maybe turned it on at 11:30 at night. Played through the entire night. It's like 6:30. The sun's coming up. I started it again and beat it again in the same sitting. I did not stand up. I beat the game once. Played straight through it again. That's how much fun I have with the game. You haven't played it.
No.
You haven't played it.
That's a great game. When it comes to, I haven't played. I don't think a single, well, except for PUBG and Fortnite, a single game that came out last year. Pyre is definitely one of the games at the top of like my guilty list from
Yeah.
last year. Just they put out that game company specifically. I forget what that company's actual name is.
Super Giant Games.
Super Giant Game, because there is a company called That Game Company. But yeah, Super Giant Games, like those are, whenever they come out with a release, it should be mandatory play. That and what did Fulbright come out with?
God, I'll-
Yeah, their next game though, the one in
The
space,
space one.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
Tacoma's another one that's up there for me. I don't think it's gonna hit as well,
Yeah, I didn't hear enough about that one.
but I like that company. I really like Gone Home, so I'll definitely play with their next thing.
Did y'all play
is.
Gone Home?
If
Good.
related to that movie you talked about, where it has like an LGBT character in
Mhm.
it, Gone Home's great with the treatment of those characters.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It'd probably run on any laptop too. At this point, yeah, it wasn't super graphically demanding. It's
But
probably
it's-
$2.
It's in my. I've shared my Steam library with Jimmy.
There you go.
It's in there.
It's
I've
2
got-
hours.
I've got it on
I'll
my
just- I'll just start
PS4.
coming over.
Yeah.
Isn't it one of those like walking simulators?
It is.
Oh yeah, it's walking.
It is,
People
but
say
it's
fucking
2 hours.
nonsense.
It's a good.
Get
I
me
think it's a
hot.
good couples
Get me
game.
hot.
I knew this. Something would come on.
Yeah.
Something would come on.
It's very short. I think it's a good couples game. So
It
you
is.
and your wife could sit on the
Yeah.
couch and play together.
It is.
I think that'd be fine. And there's no like,
Or don't, because you might have a sad moment. Alone.
Sad moment.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it is.
And I don't think there's any game mechanics that are like super demanding. So it's an easy like, okay, now you take over, and like you're both. It is a kind of lean back sort of
Did
experience.
you play? You played Firewatch though, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you had.
I tried one that I heard was similar because it was free
Was
on.
it Dear Esther?
It was. I don't
It
know.
was free, whatever that one was.
It was one where it was free on the PlayStation Network, and
Oh,
you
Vanishing
walk
of
around
Ethan
and-
Carter?
I don't think so. It had something to do with a power
Oh
station.
fuck! I remember it. It's
walk up to these
Everybody
spirits.
Welcome to the Rapture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really wanted to play that.
Is that similar?
I played it and beat the whole thing, so maybe I'm just addicted to walking simulators.
Was it really good?
I really enjoyed it.
I like the music. From what I
Yeah.
heard, the music was very good.
The way you play that game, I thought was fun and
Okay.
unique. It wasn't. I guess it really kind of was a walking simulator, but it was the way you interacted with the environment was pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't like that term
Me
very
neither.
much.
It makes me
I
mad.
understand why it's used. It's just a very different experience for me. I can both appreciate Super Meat Boy and
I have played games that could have the title walking simulator.
So,
I've played those
for the
games.
fans who don't know, what is a walking simulator?
it's a derogatory
Also
term
me.
used for. I mean, it's pretty much a derogatory term used for games where there's not much in the way of
Gameplay.
or like really active mechanics.
Yeah.
So for the most part, you're walking around, you're investigating stuff, but beyond that, there's not much.
Kind
there.
of walk up to something.
Click
it
on
happens.
it.
Yeah, you click on it.
It's like a museum of video
You,
games.
you enter a circle.
Just kind of stagger up to something and press a button.
Yeah, there may be a puzzle, but even that's not a guarantee.
A lot of the times they're like heavily focused on story,
Yeah,
which I mean, I'll play that game all day if you got a good story. It's why not? It's 2 hours long. I could watch a movie. I could play a game. It's interactive. Cool.
it's a lot about getting immersed in a space.
Yeah.
yeah. So like Gone Home, for instance, it takes place the entirety of it in a house.
Okay.
And that's it. And Firewatch, much bigger area, but even still, it's a campground, and there's not much real estate in terms of where the character can go. So by the end of the game, you're very familiar with your
Yeah.
surroundings. Same with Gone Home, same with all that, and it helps with the story, I think. But yeah, they're very good. I highly recommend them. I understand why certain people don't like them, but I do think they have something to offer, and I think it's a cool, different
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I think they have a lot to offer. Those are some of my favorite games that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Firewatch and Gone Home are both probably some of my games of the year for the years that this
Gone Home
came out.
definitely. Gone Home's something very different
Gone
that I
Home
really liked.
I came to that months after it had been released, and I hadn't heard a damn thing about it, and kind of coming at it from the way I did, of knowing nothing, no expectations, no anything.
Did you play it before
That
me, or
game-
did I play it before?
I think I played it before you.
Okay.
That game kind of knocked me on my ass.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I don't want to get too into it, but it was
Yeah.
definitely it had different things going for it than other games, different emotions,
Yeah.
different sort of just headspace.
The arc that you.
Yeah, there's many. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a moment I think we've mentioned at one point where you turn, you see something, and at that point in the story, it is painted a very different way than what it will be painted as later
Yeah.
in the story, which is great, I think. But yeah, highly recommend Gone Home. Also, that guy has a podcast, one of the 3 that designed that game, called Tone Control. Very good podcast. It's he interviews a bunch of game designers,
Really?
people from the industry. So he interviewed Ken Levine.
Cool. Was that recent?
It was 4 years ago, recent. So
Okay, no.
Big Bang,
I
yes.
saw another thing with Ken Levine today. It was.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Did like a brand new Ken Levine podcast?
I don't know if it was a podcast. I don't know if it was audio or if it was something written.
Shit, I'll should look up anyway. I wonder what that guy's up to.
Came with my Google feed. Yeah.
Last night he was writing a movie script, so I want him to make something else. But yeah, I got into Transistor, and I think that's it for video games other than Fortnite. Films, nothing super new. I recently rewatched The Godfather, which was very good. Oh, for shows, I'm finally getting into The Wire, which is
What?
fucking fantastic.
It's so good.
Well, the thing is, I did.
What season?
I've tried.
Now I just got into season 3, episode 1
Good.
now.
You made it past season 2.
I like season 2.
You did?
I understand
I
kind of
can't
what.
make it past season 1.
What
Like,
the
all
fuck?
right. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Let me just say this. You're done.
I know that it is one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Was this your first run?
I've heard. No, I've tried 2 or 3 times,
Fuck.
and I just
Season
there's
1 is
something
really
about
good.
I dropped
it.
off in season 1 too. I'm not sure why.
There's something. It's like episode 3 or something. Like
Just start.
I
on
hit
season
a
3.
wall.
Just fuck it.
No,
Go to straight
no,
to
no.
3.
Season
I
one's
don't
good,
want to do
though.
that.
Season 3 is
Because
so good.
I don't want to do that because like Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time, and people sit there and say like
I have like 5 episodes left.
Three episodes of Breaking Bad left.
It's been like 2 years.
I stopped.
yeah, like for
Didn't
a
care.
lot of people like episode 1 and 2, they're like, or seasons 1 and 2, you almost have to tell people like you got to make it through seasons 1 and 2.
And
then everything
I really like seasons 1. and
But
2.
I think when you rewatch it, everything happens so quickly, and I'm sure that's exactly what happens in The Wire. Like you can see the progression of what's building in The Wire. I don't even know what is building.
No.
Except for, maybe not.
I would
Okay.
so basic. I don't think this is spoiling too much, but at least thus far, the basic structure of The Wire is each season is a case, kind
Okay,
of.
okay.
So each one, it doesn't necessarily get wrapped up and like all the characters go away. There is stuff that bleeds over from season to
Yeah.
season to season, but each one kind of focuses on a different thing.
All while maintaining a bunch of really awesome characters, and it's one of those it feels like they did it very genuinely. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, genuinely, accurately. Like you could tell, like people with know-how behind the show.
Yeah.
Know-how behind the subjects they're tackling were on the show.
Yeah, and just again, I know that's a really good show. I really want to get into it. I just haven't been able to yet.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's just a barrier there that I'm gonna have to figure out what it is. Maybe it's just the time of day I've been watching it. Like I always try to watch it like as I was, almost ready to go to sleep, and I just like for whatever reason.
Let's ingest this really serious.
Well, yeah, there's like
cop drama.
I mean, there's like I feel like there's a lot of good dialogue there too. But in the early episodes, it was kind of slow moving. It was they were like they were developing characters. And I'm
You're
just not
understanding
being
how the
patient.
dynamics
Yeah.
work.
Well, I think like one thing, like The Wire isn't like a lot of stuff that comes out nowadays. I don't mean this to be derogatory, where there isn't a big mystery. It's all world building, character building, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I can see by episode 3, 4 not having much attachment. Again, I think the subject's so interesting that it's tough for me to think that.
Put yourself in the headspace.
But I could see that
Yeah.
because I did drop out of season 1 for some reason way back in the day. I'm not sure why. Maybe something else just came along. Because I even back then I remember not.
I think Game of
Hating
Thrones
it.
might have came along for me on my second go around.
Even now, and this is early, so maybe it goes to shit. I hear seasons 3 and 4 are the best.
Yeah.
I like The Wire much more than Game of Thrones.
I would say, yeah,
It's a weird
It's hard
comparison.
to compare those.
It's a weird comparison.
Yeah.
I watched them both in the same, like ravenously, like ingesting them after. Of course, The Wire was all the way released. The Game of Thrones is still, we're trying to come to the big conclusion.
2019.
Yeah, it's looking forward to it. Another year and a fucking half. But I don't know, man. I'm not gonna talk about that show. But that's like I said. I just ingested. Like I couldn't get enough. I would watch one episode after the other.
sure.
Like cramming them into different times of the day.
Like I started it I think 4 days ago. I've been trying to correct my sleep schedule. That has helped tremendously.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I got to stay up for 8 hours past what I don't want to. That's 8 episodes of The Wire. Dope. Cool. So no, I'm on season 3. Actually, I think started right before I drove over here. I finished the finale to season 2, which was very good. I like season 2 a lot. I see why people don't like it. It feels like a weird shift, and even a more cynical person I think would even point to like, oh, here's all these white guys all of a sudden. So I understand sort of the phone tapping was a little bit lame compared to previous season. I get it, but I enjoyed it myself. I thought it was cool. I learned a lot about pull locks, which is cool.
That's a show I think about rewatching. Like, it's also very long. There's a lot of episodes there to get through. So it's one of those like you look at it like, okay, I probably have better things to do with my time, but I really want to go back and just get back in that world.
But
go back to Baltimore.
And the reason, like I mentioned Godfather, and I immediately thought of that because I think both the Godfather trilogy and that does so well. Different from what a lot of series do nowadays, or even just hit films, is just character development, world building. Like I think of like when I rewatch The Godfather, like the first 20 minutes is just a wedding. Nothing else is happening. It's just sort of vignettes of what's going on during the wedding. And in those 20 minutes, I know more about those characters than I would, say, 2 movies worth of Star Wars of the most recent trilogy. So and also the characters there have such a imposing presence. Like whenever, who plays the Don? His name skips me.
I won't be telling you.
Very famous actor, Marlon Brando. Like whenever he's on screen, Al Pacino's on screen. There's something about those actors from back then that it just instantly, they have something about them that just draws you to the screen. That I don't know. Maybe it's because of time.
That's me, but for Goodfellas.
Yeah, Goodfellas, same thing.
So good.
I love Goodfellas. I think I'd still put Godfather above it. But I like Goodfellas a lot, and Casino.
Yeah.
All of Scorsese shit, good stuff when it comes to gangsters. But yeah, other than that, that's really it. It's been mostly just trying to fix my sleep schedule, which today is the first successful day, so I'm gonna keep this going. Hopefully.
I as you were saying stuff that you watched, I did remember I watched one other thing we drop in here real quick is I'm not exactly sure what the correct way to say it would be but it's the end of the I'm gonna say effing world, end of the effing world. It's F and then asterisk ing world.
Okay.
So end of the fucking world. It's on Netflix. It's only 1 season long. I think it might be 8 episodes. And they're 30-minute episodes. It's a short watch if you have time for it. I think I'm probably wrong here, but I think I first heard about it from reading Twitter, and I think I came across a tweet from Nick Frost.
Okay.
Which he endorsed it. He was like, the ending was so good. It might not have been Nick Frost. Maybe I'm just cross remembering, but
anything Nick Frost does, I'm all over that.
yeah. I knew if I dropped Nick Frost and Simon Pegg in here, you guys.
Everyone kind of leans in closer.
Like, maybe we can get him as a guest on the pod.
You just replace Alex.
Kind of look alike.
That
might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said. Fucking Nick Frost is amazing. But
is it UK based?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really cynical, really kind of dry humor.
Yeah, UK based.
It's so good. That's my style of humor.
Does it have anything to do with the hit film End of the World?
No.
It
has absolutely.
Or At World's End.
At World's End. Yeah, the other one was
there's nothing.
The hit James Franco deal with. They both came out within like a week of each other.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah,
Michael Cera, he was a good standout role in that.
Yeah, not to spoil any. Like, this isn't really a spoiler, but it has absolutely nothing to do with like an
apocalyptic.
There we go.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah, eucalyptus theme. Yeah, nothing to do with that. Like, the end of the fucking world is more of I think a character point of view, versus a like zombies or something like that.
I'll have to check it out. I hadn't even heard of it. They're putting out so much shit nowadays.
Yeah.
And not even like...
Yeah, it's a Netflix like exclusive or original or whatever. Yeah. It's really good.
I don't think they're advertising this shit.
I really want to...
They advertise, I think, on a personal basis. Like, if I'd never shown any... Which is not true, because I've watched almost every Simon Pegg movie on Netflix, even though some of them are pretty bad.
Well, I don't think...
He's been in some bad movies.
Yeah,
He's been in some bad movies. Not badass, bad movies.
I think the rom-com. I know there was a rom-com in there. There's one he just came out with where he's like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, there was one with Gollum. What's his name?
Andy Serkis?
There's one that he did on there. I did not. I tried to watch it twice. Fell asleep both times.
A Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
again, I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I don't think that they really have anything to do with this. They might not have even tweeted about it.
It was a dream.
But they very well could have. I'll try to find it later.
Does Nick Frost talk to you in your sleep?
Yeah. Nick Frost is like, motherfucker, I didn't say that. That show's shit. No, but yeah, so if you want, you guys should check that one out. We can talk about it next time. I really enjoyed it. And I will clarify just one more thing.
Mm.
I really enjoyed it, but it's almost to the point where I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if I would like it if I watched it again. So I'm tempted.
Kind of like Transformers 2.
Yeah.
First glance, you thought it was an incredible film. And the second time,
that was never an incredible film.
Those machine balls are dangling in your face.
Very few people caught it the first round. That's how you know you're high IQ.
Yeah. That was a shit movie every single way.
Did you see it on the night of the midnight release with all your boys?
That was a decent midnight release.
A dude got kicked out for doing hand puppets in the theater. You stand on the back of the chair doing hand puppets. We were all jazzed. The film melted halfway through.
That guy who with the hand puppets, he stood outside the entire time.
Waited for his boys.
We saw him outside when we were walking out at the end. It's a long movie about robots fighting too.
Yeah.
It's like 2.5 hours, zero character development, just robot balls.
Yeah.
God damn it. That fucking movie. And the two like really small racist robots also. Like
you never forget those.
Christ, that fucking movie. Though I liked it better than Transformers 3. Transformers 3, my brain almost fucking exploded. I hate it so much. That was both the movies.
Which one is 3?
3, they have a new girl, right?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
It's like Dark Side of the Moon.
Remember, he goes to college.
Maybe, yeah.
He goes to college, and then he meets his new girl at college. Wait, no.
Because it's after college, I think. Because the second one's in college.
Shia LaBeouf's not in here anymore?
No, he's in it. This was the last one with Shia LaBeouf.
Where does it transform to Mark
Wahlberg? Talking about Transformers fucking fiction.
There's a lot of people out there who are real. I think I saw a portion. Oh, it was the one where Optimus Prime died, and then of course got like resurrected.
That's right, the forest fight. I think. Yeah.
Which was badass. He murdered a couple people.
That's pretty good.
Fucked up.
I was too distracted.
That was 3, right?
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah.
I was too distracted by the people around us. I think to my back left was like 2 redneck dudes. Whenever the female supporting actress came on, I was like, yep, I like that. So I had that going on. On the right, I had a very excitable like 5-year-old who wouldn't shut the fuck up for the 3 hours the film went. So I left. Michael Bay, you gave me a fucking headache. Like, I I was livid and my head hurt.
To be fair, it's still a shit movie.
Yeah, it probably is. I never tried to watch it again just because that
The
experience
buildings
was
were
the
falling
worst.
down.
I don't
and
even know
you
if
were
number one
sweating.
is a good
There was a
movie.
worm
I wondered the same
robot.
thing. I saw it so many. It came out when I was in ninth
It
grade.
had that like one. What was it? Was it a Linkin Park song or something?
Yeah.
in there?
Right, all of them had the Linkin Park
Yeah.
song.
Oh yeah. And
It's
you know,
the one
and
through,
everybody
yeah.
left that theater like
Except
Chaz.
for
Like
now.
I remember going into that theater thinking, I can't believe I'm about to watch a movie about Transformers. This is so fucking stupid. I came out jazzed as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, I
making
found
the sounds.
I have a new career
Yeah.
path. I'm going to be a Transformer.
Yeah.
Like it was all good. And then like the second one came out, it was travesty.
That's a moment of awakening.
Yeah.
As you realize, like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. So
Maybe
now
what happened to one?
Yeah, we should rewatch one to see if it's any good.
It's
Because
kind
it's
of
probably
like
not.
Grown Ups 1 was an incredible film. Grown Ups 2,
Okay.
you see that. It kind
I
of.
haven't seen
Every
Grown Ups.
I got surprised with Grown Ups 1. I went to it.
Yeah.
Philip arranged everyone to gather at the theater.
Yeah.
I went sight unseen, told my face we're gonna see Grown Up once. I didn't express it visually, but inside my heart turned black. Realizing what I was gonna do.
His heart shrank 3 times that day.
It was that the same day or week that fucking Pacific Rim came out, or was that Grown Ups 2?
No way.
That must have been Grown Ups 2.
Yeah.
Because Grown Ups did outperform Pacific Rim. One of them did. Probably both of them. Fucking A.
That hurts
God
me.
Damn it.
That
Yeah.
hurts me big time.
That's right. Grown Ups 1, didn't it open with like a goat peeing on Adam Sandler in his bed?
Sounds reasonable.
I remember an animal peeing.
I
There's
know,
definitely
that is-
an animal peeing. Thank
Adam
you.
Sandler's rich.
He is rich, but he
Kevin
got
James is poor.
true. That's right. Did he rent an expensive car
Yes.
to
yes.
seem
But
rich?
someone gets chocolate drunk and they shoot an arrow in the sky and it almost hits someone.
Also, Adam Sandler's with an incredibly hot actress, like fucking always. Which I guess, yeah, sure, it's your movie, fucking do it. But Salma Hayek, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Speaking of
You don't deserve
Adam
that.
Sandler films, I went over to my dad's house and saw they were on his Netflix account. We were trying to figure out what to watch. We settled on American Made, which was really good.
Hmm.
But while we were on Netflix, I saw that he had partially watched Ridiculous 6.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Because from the
And
previews,
then-
that was definitely a series to watch.
and then
99%
proceeded
match.
to tell me that he had a good argument for why this movie was good.
No, you don't.
Yeah. He
To
tried.
warn the others?
He
Like,
tried.
what was the argument?
He tried. He turned it on, and my mom immediately she's like, just looks at me. Like she knows he's already tried this shit on her. Maybe
Turn it on,
more
it
than
shows
once.
again.
Yeah, he turns it to the point where
Is it Taylor Lautner's incredible retarded persona? Like, what? God
he
damn.
did show that, but it was John. Wait,
There's a lot of star power.
Leguizamo.
Really?
Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Probably he was in
From
Mario.
Transformers. The guy from
John Wick. He's the guy who details the cars in John Wick.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So John Turturro. Is
He's
he?
fucking in it?
Yeah, from
God.
Martin Fink, right?
Yeah, that, the
Yeah,
night
so
of.
John Turturro's in it, and he's teaching that he has come up with baseball, and he is outlining why everything is named.
He's
that
in
way.
a lot of those movies. They have fucking something on him, and
Yeah.
I want to freeze
Yeah.
him. You're an Oscar-winning actor. You're very good. Why are you in these
Remember, quiz show,
films? That paycheck.
Ralph Fiennes. Yeah.
I hope that paycheck's amazing.
Yeah.
Because goddamn it, John Turturro. He's
So
too
he-
good.
He was in it, and the whole time he's like doing that thing where he's like, "See," like he's like looking at it like, "Are you laughing?" It's it is.
Fuck.
It was a sad moment for him.
So I will say we've done incredible so far. The podcast, I figure, will be named something like "What to Do with the Channel." We're an hour in,
An hour and 3 minutes,
and we
actually.
haven't started, but we have talked about the Transformers films, so this is going great.
And
This
we
is-
also introduced you guys to Game of Thrones. If you
Yeah.
haven't heard
yeah,
of
the
it.
hot shit show.
We're
It's an up and comer.
reviewing 10-year-old
Yeah.
media.
4-year-old, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, fucking Crash Bandicoot, god damn it. So what I originally wanted to do with this podcast, but we have aired thus far, is we got the name together, we got the group together. Now what does that mean for the channel? Like there's a lot, like Jimmy was talking about, he hasn't posted in a month, and a lot of people are they're ravenous for HeroClix content.
Ooh.
And I have a feeling at least 3/4 of this group may not be super helpful to those viewers' problem. Maybe Jimmy will pick up the slack there.
Good. Yeah, you gotta give people what they want.
Yeah, but
Just not here. Just
yeah,
not
but I
here.
figure we should maybe talk about what we think we're gonna do with this channel individually as a group, just to kind of give people an idea of, hey, there's a podcast now called Game Bangers. There's a group that have named themselves the Game Bangers. What does that mean for the channel going
We earned
forward?
that title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did We took it by force.
And also, I realize this. We can be even more generic with Game Bangers. Game of life. We banging it. So, doesn't have to be game related. Just life related.
Yeah.
It's as long as you're living and it relates to that.
Good.
10-year-old
Good.
movie related?
I
Make it
do.
related.
Yeah.
Personally, where I thought this was kind of, we were all going to have we have common interests. We have things that we're all into separately. Jimmy likes HeroClix. No one else does.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to kind of bring their own flavor to it. But one thing I feel like we all do, we do like to play games. And I feel like we should at least do the bit where we mention what we played. Maybe we don't got to go into an hour-long exposition as to what we did.
Like, so we could talk about fun employment if we want.
Yeah, board games, things we've been introduced to, things we've enjoyed doing.
I think once we slide into a normal format, this will be fine. And maybe even an hour is fine too. Like when I think of I guess we'll talk specifically this podcast. I've been trying to think of ways to really structure this thing out. And
I don't see that working.
Every time I think of a format where this hits, it just feels, one, it feels forced, and two, it doesn't really make sense to me right now. For instance, we were talking about podcast length earlier today, and should it be a long one, should it be a short one, and should it be structured versus less structured? When I think of all right, let's structure this podcast, we don't even really know what we are at this point. So structuring anything feels real weird.
I thought we were getting together to
kind of bullshit.
Listener,
almost.
I hope you're enjoying by listening to this. And maybe you're one of those people who just has a 40-hour commute every week and just needs something else to put in their ears. This is for
There
you
you go, yeah.
because we
use all the other podcasts.
every other podcast has been expended.
A Googler popped up.
Net neutrality is here. Nobody can afford to upload.
We should
anything.
broadcast this over the dark.
Bunch of drug dealers. What the fuck?
Yeah. And so I feel like it's get together with my buddies, bullshit for however long we decide to do it.
And if
Just like
cares.
the whole idea was spurned because we went to Philly. We're sitting around in the room laughing our asses off with one another, and we thought maybe someone wants to listen to it. Most likely not. Most likely no one gives a shit. This will never get downloaded. Who cares? I think it's just fun to get together with you guys. We'll record it because it takes minimal effort.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is something we would be doing no matter what. We would come here. We would talk shit about Cuphead. We would talk about the movies we watched. Everything else.
Well, here's the thing. I think I'll only resonate with you when it comes to the spectrum of podcasts. I see us more being Mega 64 podcast versus This American Life on the other extreme.
Oh, are you sure?
Where it's more just hey, bullshitting. When we make stuff, I think it'd be cool to talk about the process of making the thing and how we feel about it, and then also just general bullshit, maybe updates on the channel. But for the most part, it's just us getting together.
Yeah. I feel
sort of
like
a general thing.
We need ammunition. We've got the gun.
Yeah.
We need something to load into the chamber. Whatever content that might be, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to shit on? That's what we need to decide.
I think if we structure it, we'll definitely need that for a podcast.
Yeah.
But with this one, we can bullshit about anything, and it'll be fine because that's the expectation of the podcast. But I do think for the overall channel, hey, what does this mean? Yeah, we definitely need to start coming up with just some ideas of maybe what you want to do or what you don't want to do, both as a group and as a personal thing. So I can jump in with mine. One of my resolutions, at least for this channel, is to put out a minimum of 12 videos this year. Just me videos where I figure out and do my own thing. I make it and I put it out on the channel. 12 things, so one a month probably. I don't want to get too into it yet. I would much rather show it to you guys and see what you guys think. But that's something I would like to do on my own. As far as maybe group stuff, I think it'd be cool and really low effort to kind of do a play session.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be all four of us.
That's
It
where
could
my
even
head's
be two people, and you just kind of revolve the two people, and you could do all sorts of fun things. Maybe two people together, they specifically want to play the beginning of a bunch of different games and just talk about, hey, how this game opened up or whatever the hell. Just do an endurance run of one game, like Persona 5. We're going to play from start to finish 1 hour at a time. And it's just a journey throughout the entire year of just playing hour chunks and uploading it.
No dibs.
Whatever the hell.
No dibs.
That's just an idea.
Persona. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at too.
Yeah.
What do we have the most fun doing together? What are your goals for this channel? Is it to become internet famous, or is it to have fun with your friends?
There
Most likely have
there
fun
is
with
an
my
opening
friends.
after that one guy bombed his channel. At the
Logan
beginning of the
Paul?
year. Yeah, there we go.
Logan Paul.
What are you talking about? No.
It got
He
bigger.
introduced millions of kids. Yeah, millions of kids to suicide, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Open the dialogue.
They gotta learn, and they gotta learn by seeing, and then by doing.
Yeah.
Goddamn, Logan.
Hey,
Is he still
moment of
on? Or
silence.
we have to. We will. There may have to be some changes with the channel. We gotta either hide your subscriptions or take Logan Paul.
Yeah,
off.
yeah. One way or the
One
other,
of the
Jimbo.
two.
One way or the other. Me and Kyle, we went through. We have audited the subscriptions. We have found a few that
We
got
found
to
them
go.
wanting. Yeah.
They have
Logan's gotta go
to
or we go.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything for you.
Logan and the dude doing makeup tutorials. I can't handle that shit.
I don't want to get too into the Logan thing, but fucking A, man, come on. Have you seen the other Japanese videos?
I haven't
Like
seen
the
anything.
actual what he
I
was
didn't
there,
see the
like-
video.
Yeah, they're so bad.
Yeah.
They're almost worse in some ways.
Yeah, it's
But no
it's
one's
like
talking.
that stupid ass culture of
But
like
we're-
prank videos where
Yeah.
you're hitting people and you're like, oh, this is super funny.
And
Were,
then-
were you a
It's
Logan
not
Paul
prank.
viewer before this,
No, I
or
never-
he sucked you
I
in?
never heard of him.
He sucked you in.
It's just the
Now you're
internet.
giving him
He,
clicks.
he was a blip. I never clicked on his video.
His channel did
I-
get a lot bigger after that, though.
I'm
No,
sure
I
it
wouldn't say
did.
a lot, but it got bigger. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know.
He's a maverick.
I would think
Dabbing on haters.
getting away from fucking Logan Paul.
Yeah,
Who
for real.
cares?
Well,
Every-
actually,
whole
just
internet's
one
already-
thing.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe-
One
maybe
more.
we got-
Jimmy cares.
To,
For our
to,
viewers.
to
Logan
defend,
minute
to
starts right
defend
now.
my
Subscription?
subscription.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm a super big fan of Logan Paul, but he
His
was
brother,
the
Jake.
biggest. No, I really don't. I don't even think I'm subscribed to that one.
Oh,
But
that's
either
the
way, biggest growing channel on YouTube while you're working on a YouTube channel. There's something to learn there. I just kind of wanted to
I
see what the
understand.
format was. But yeah,
I
I,
guess so.
agree. What he did is pretty
You open
janky.
up with, "Hey guys, what's going on?" That's basically all you need to learn from YouTube. Right?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's
Coming
going
at you,
on?
love.
Yeah.
Nobody says that. It's not in the thing.
Except for you.
Yeah.
You've got a few on there
Come-
as proof.
coming at you live.
Also, another thing, at least for my personal stuff, I don't really. This is gonna sound really fucking trite, but I don't want to do anything real negative. Not to say that I don't want to critique anything, but that seems to be the trend in YouTube, and that's just not. It's not in me anymore. So if it's like, let's talk shit about a YouTuber, for the most part, I don't think.
YouTuber? No.
Yeah, or
That a game?
I have
Yeah.
my thing nailed down. I just decided.
even that, I'm not sure.
That's all it is.
I
Just a
understand-
bunch of crap.
If we get into reviews and stuff, sure, I guess, because you're gonna have to critique it honestly.
I'm gonna do unboxing videos.
But I think most
So
of my
you're saying
content.
we should only talk about things we enjoy.
This is just for me. This is just
Okay.
solely like my own personal thing. I don't think I'm gonna do anything that's like, check out this piece of garbage. It's so garbage. Look how garbage it is.
Yeah.
I think for me, I want to highlight things and be like, hey, this is why it's good. Maybe unpack something and learn more about that thing.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
I
Like,
think I'll have to grow a lot as a person to do that.
Yeah, it seems like
It does. It does.
honestly, when I was thinking, I just decided I'm gonna be doing unboxing videos, like
Yeah.
like just like really showing you the nitty gritty packaging details, but with simpler things like
Yeah.
cereal. Like,
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
let's open up this box of Captain Crunch.
there,
Oh, there's
there
a
was
big
a
old bag.
genre of people who bought groceries and then unboxed them.
And
One of
that's
them
4 steps ahead of me.
One of them was chased away by the internet. Jeff Gersman highlighted from Giant Bomb, which giantbomb.com, good website, go visit it. He mentioned this one YouTube lady who did the same thing, and she got so popular that she deactivated her YouTube and removed all the videos. So there is an open spot.
Oh, there is another.
Yeah.
one. Good for you. So I'm
Slide in
gonna
there.
get that before Logan does, and
I think unboxing, yeah, if you can do it right, yeah, go for it.
yeah,
It's expensive.
I mean, it depends. If you're just unboxing cereal.
Well, true. That's really your approach, I guess. Yeah.
If you just do that once a week for the whole week, there's something to
There's
that.
so many bucks of cereal. You
Maybe
got-
I'll
you-
just follow people out of stores. Like, hey, can I watch you unbox that?
Well, I
Like,
think don't even change the cereal. It's the same. What's in this one of Pops? Pops. How do we know if we don't search through the whole
I
box?
should
though?
look through every single pop to see
Yeah.
if there's a deformed pop.
Break
maybe.
each one with a
Yeah.
hammer.
Start a
Yeah.
collection. That'd be great.
Every once in a while, pops, you get that one really crunchy ass pop though.
Mhm.
Don't you pop lovers know?
It's a special pop.
Yeah.
You just create some backstory. Like Kellogg's is hidden one diamond in one pop, so you just like,
Yeah.
not this one.
I always like find like you find like 2 Fruit Loops that are like
Ooh.
conjoined twins.
Mm.
Like there's a love story there.
You can
The
like
world's
showcase your
yearning for.
loot after you've
Yeah,
unboxed
yeah, yeah.
all your favorite Fruit
Yeah.
Loops. Like,
Call it American Pickers.
that's a decent idea. I like that idea.
Yeah, you can have that one too.
You can do it. I got enough on my plate right now. I think that's one thing we're gonna have to figure out too. Is like, I know I have the whole Adobe suite on here, and I definitely am down for doing some editing. But we may want to also have like other editing. Maybe learn just a little bit.
Hit
for all of
film
us.
is free and super useful.
You know. Well, even for your own thing, you want to do that. Like just
I-
create
I-
something.
yeah, it-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it has
It's
to be a
not difficult.
necessity.
If it's not difficult,
I would
kind
like
of
to get
simple.
back into some photoshopping. I used to love making my own Photoshop.
I'm Adobe certified. I'll tell you on CS3.
Are you certified on LinkedIn? Someone endorsed you?
Yeah.
They don't name it that anymore. They've gone past that. It's now a CC, and then it's the year.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there
Self-betterment.
is there
a
room
bullshit thing
on
anyway.
this podcast for hot takes? What's the
Hot takes
issue?
and takes.
What's going on right now? Like,
I think
How do we-
if we keep it general, then yeah, why not?
yeah, like
Yeah.
We can
what's
talk
going
about
on
Marky
with
Mark.
what's going on with
His-
Intel right
his-
now?
his latest
like
thing.
all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
there may be a position for that if we're all learned in that and see how we all feel about it.
I think it has to be general because I was even thinking like, what are the two sort of focus things that we could absolutely put in here? Like what you've been up to playing. That seems an easy intro, and then like news, but news even feels too short. I think it are too forced. I think you're like Intel, what the hell, and then boom, starts a conversation instead of like this is where we talk about the news.
Yeah.
Maybe later on when maybe we'll get more structured as we go.
Yeah, I think that would mean if
But it feels weird to go like news.
yeah,
All right, let's begin.
This news would feel more like the front of Yahoo, where you've got like baby diabetes here,
Oh yeah.
Intel processors next. Like it's just a shotgun effect. If you start
We
announcing
could
the
definitely
news
try it
portion,
out. Why not? Yeah. Maybe for next podcast, I'll get a list of topics together. I was gonna do it for this one, but it just felt weird.
Yeah, that's the type of format I prefer. Not like where it's like, this is what we're talking about now, this is what we're talking about now, but it's like, hey guys, this happened, read about it. So I actually have like something to contribute to the content. Because I'm not usually like savvy to just like search through articles and stuff, so I don't really
Yeah.
know a lot about what's going on.
I'll say for at least the next couple podcasts, I think it should mostly be focused on, hey, we're starting this thing. How is that like?
yeah, and just like with most, we'll probably slot into a routine.
Yeah,
There you go.
a rhythm.
That's
I think people are still finding, like, if there was anyone watching this, that's
No.
a big if.
no one's
Yeah.
watching. We're not streaming live.
Definitely currently,
But-
absolutely not.
But if there was someone watching this in the future, they're right now just getting to kind of know our styles of humor. Like,
Yeah.
kind of get to know who's talking, like, why we're talking.
And even if they don't, like, if someone does become a fan, like, hey, you want to see how we started and what we felt about it? Boom, there you go. It's not about, the Logan Paul thing, which no one cares about at that point. It's just, hey, this is how we got together and did our thing.
I mean, there's so much bullshit out on the internet that has a following. I gotta believe that we're gonna have at least 2 fans that are just gonna be ravenous
Oh, for sure.
for our
Yeah.
stuff.
There'll definitely be a few.
They're checking back to their iTunes account every week.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're refreshing the page.
We-
What's up?
we
the
uploaded
upload
8
is late.
o'clock. We uploaded 8 instead of 6.
Yeah,
You're like,
they're fucking pissed.
I think that comes down to consistency, which I think this podcast has to be the one consistent thing. I think the other stuff we can be real creative with our release
yeah.
schedules, but I think this for sure has to be the one like glue, kind of like Mega 64. They don't put out shit regularly, but this podcast is the thing they keep out week to week. That's sort of an update or just, hey, we're still alive, and here's what's coming
It's
up.
not like we don't all get together almost probably on that schedule.
Yeah.
Either in person or online. Like it's not, we don't live that far away from each other. Y'all do, but we're within an hour of one another.
Yeah.
It's
If
not
not,
that
Cameron and I will just get together and do a
Nothing,
podcast.
We'll schedule.
I mean, we could definitely do
Once
that
a
where
week. No.
like someone's out of state or something. We could do like a 3-person.
Bring a guest in.
Yeah. Give us your keys, Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good content out there. We got a lot of cool people in one room. I'm just here to have fun. I don't care what the hell happens.
Yeah, I don't even want to like mandate like, hey, everyone has to do something. Like, if you don't feel like you have the time, I think that's cool. Just I'll clue everyone in. Like, hey, I don't have time to do my own thing, or fuck it, I don't want to do my own thing. I just want to sit in on like gameplay and shit like that. I think that's fine. Just kind of because I don't want that pressure there where you're not feeling whatever's going on and then forcing you to do something.
Yeah.
I want this all to be laid back because the way I'm viewing it is I just want to make some cool shit and stuff that will hopefully help me grow in some way, if not directly just from like, I don't know, I learned patience from fucking editing or something, a podcast, because that took a lot of time.
Cal's got his special videos. Jimmy has hero clicks.
That's right.
Alex, you and I could have Ron
On
get
the
a
bench.
couch co-op.
Yeah.
There you go.
We could play. We could do
Yeah,
gameplay.
I do
run-throughs.
like the idea of like hot takes during gameplay, just because like in that instant
What is
that you
hot
discover something, it's like a bullshit opinion.
Yeah.
Name something.
Harry
Levi
Potter.
jeans.
There we
Harry
go.
Potter shit.
Hot take.
There you
Yeah.
There it is.
Is that the
I haven't seen
definition?
it.
We could go to Urban Dictionary and check
It's
it out.
it's a take that's hot on the news.
Yeah.
Generally not that informed on the
Exactly.
thing.
Ah, I gotcha.
Yeah. It's just like you heard the thing and like bullshit.
Yeah,
and
like
without actually
like,
looking into
a
it.
great opinion of a hot take would be like if you watch the national championship game, everybody on social media was like, what the fuck is Nick Saban doing pulling his starting quarterback at halftime, and then they win the national championship in a big comeback fashion.
Spoilers.
And
Yeah.
sorry if you haven't watched it yet. and people were like yeah, don't pull the guy that got you there, but the guy that got them there had them 13 points down.
It was like 21 yards in the first half passing.
Yeah. So they pulled him, put in the, but so everybody that talked shit essentially for 5 minutes were then quickly shown.
Not to
shown the
mention,
light.
Nick Saban had said already in prior interviews to the game that it was something he was looking into doing anyway.
Yeah.
Working that guy in, he knew he was a better pocket passer.
Yeah. That.
Not a hot
Also-
take.
Also,
That's
also,
the opposite.
I really just throwing it out there. That was a really great game.
It was. It did not end how I wanted it to. I think the ending was almost. Would you say
ending
it
was great?
Hot take.
What?
Football sucks.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. No, we
Okay, never mind.
I thought the ending was great because I mean you knew that Alabama's kicker was shit. And
that was so great.
And I
That was so
kind
good.
of, and I'm not disrespecting. I don't want to disrespect him as an athlete. Like he's far better than I'll ever be at any athletic sport.
Papanastis?
Yeah,
The kicker?
yeah. Like he's better than me. Like I'm sure the pressure of the moment got to him. But
Twice.
twice that game he missed the field goal. And the other kicker for
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a football minute.
yeah. Anyway, it was a good game.
Yeah. I just have a feeling the Hero Clicks community is not going to get into. I mean, maybe. Maybe.
I
I'll
want
be
to put
wrong.
one more thing on there. I just like to thank Nick Saban for making Georgia fans miserable for at least another year. That was big for me.
There was a heartwarming Reddit GIF of, I guess there was two brothers playing
Against each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was cool. That was a neat moment. A lot of racist comments in that. It got closed. That's the internet. I guess I'll get into I would really like to, for my own personal videos, I would like to do almost, I know it's not going to be anywhere close to the level of quality, but like almost in every frame of painting, but for like a video game, primarily video games. My first idea was to do something around Star Wars, but I just don't care enough to even say what I wanted to say in that video and actually edit that. So I think I'm going to keep it to video games.
Okay, the movie.
So like an edit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so just like
Either
it's going to be like
Battlefront or Last Jedi.
yeah, so the idea behind that is it's probably going to take a long time to even do short content just to kind of get your point across and have the right visuals in place to get your point across.
Oh, I got you.
But it's something I can do on my own. It's just an edit job and a mic. And I think I would learn a lot from that more than I would. I'm not doing it. I don't know what that means, but it'd be cool to kind of take apart a game and go and look at its various parts and holistically, and then try to raise a point about it while also learning about something about a game I probably wouldn't have learned about otherwise.
Sounds like you're in a real positive spot for 2018.
Yeah,
I'm over here just growing a beard, and you're
Yeah.
like dissecting stuff. Like,
I just want to do more stuff.
I think we could all utilize our special skills. I feel like I do best getting groups of people together and making them have a good time, even if they didn't want to.
Mhm.
Forcing them to play board games they weren't expecting,
I mean,
whatever it is.
would you be interested in doing like a podcast tutorial thing? The reason why is because then you're in direct competition with Will Wheaton. So
Oh, incredible!
yeah, that's
I'd love to take that guy down.
that's like on Geek and Sundry, just the whole enterprise.
Will Wheaton's voice is grating, and I can't stand the guy. Sorry.
His Twitter is also something that is rough to read, from what I remember.
What do you mean?
That guy just
Give me a sec.
He just yells "nerds" at the top of his voice constantly. As loud as possible. Nerds.
yeah, can you pull up a picture of Will Wheaton? I'm having a hard time
Yeah.
remembering.
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
well, all right. So well,
Because
Alex
for
is already
whatever
learning
reason,
one thing.
Get a good one.
His Twitter name is Will Kick the Nazis Off the Tweeters Wheaton. So
Oh god.
that's good. I'm really glad we have him on the front lines.
Yeah.
Over-
fighting a good fight.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe he stormed Normandy.
Because all I could picture for a second was Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick's pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but that's
But
all I
also
could think
similar
of.
space though. That's Will Wheaton right there. He was also
Except for his voice doesn't sound like Will Wheaton's.
yeah,
Well,
no.
yeah.
He
I
does
would
have
love
very
for
boisterous
Chris Hardwick
voice.
to review our podcast, like the
Dude's busy, man. He's releasing like 10 podcasts a day.
yeah.
Talking Dead, some talking other shows. I'm
Talking
sure.
Game Bangers.
Yeah, not midnight anymore. That's unfortunately over. But yeah, that's my 12 videos. I want to do like one per game and hopefully get better as the months go on, because I'm sure the first couple are gonna be absolute ass when I look back on them. But I don't know, you gotta start somewhere. So I'll try that out.
I would like to, like I said, utilize my skills. Maybe host board game nights. Maybe we can get maybe those are interesting. I'm sure with editing you can chop out the boring parts that no one cares about, get the exciting bits.
Yeah, maybe model it off of like was it Shut Up and Sit Down?
I don't think. Yeah, theirs is more like board game reviews. They do gameplay and some rules explanations. Of course, rules explanations are very useful. The board game community, there's not a ton out there that do it well. Rules explanations. So maybe that's somewhere that if there's a game I really like, that might be something I'd want to do.
But you're thinking straight up, like here's the game and how's it?
Yeah, like
so for people already in the know, almost.
Yeah, well, there'd be a shorter rules explanation. Here's the game. Here's the premise. This is how it plays.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't go into like, and then you move your worker here, and when you do that, you take the rule book and you fold it over your head, and the person to your left moves things like
So more like the command zone, where there's like where you're playing a game, and then there's like sort of vignettes of players detailing their plans and how it went.
Yeah, that'd be something that would be cool to do. That sounds like a lot of production. I'm thinking more.
Apparently that takes a long time because they film. I think they film like 3 months in advance for that show.
I would think it did.
Yeah.
And really,
I think it's a months. I think.
So they get the cards that early. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But play shorter games, social games, things that we could get on one camera in one sitting that would take minimal editing. I don't.
For sure.
I don't need the rest of that business because I have no experience in it.
Wicked Apples.
Yeah, Wicked Apples. Play games that people might not know about. Play games that are just fun to watch other people do. Like things that outline your creativity.
Well, and like that's why I thought it was. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said you saw someone play Fun Employment.
I did,
and they didn't do it well.
And they did it real bad.
And then we played it. We had a blast. Like I think you said,
your
cheeks were hurting from smiling. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, we were laughing our asses off, and like I love like that experience. Great game.
If we had captured it on,
did we actually play the game the way I feel like we
in
a good way? Okay, I felt like we almost went outside the rules in a way I liked very much.
Yeah, like because some of the things were hard to see as like a trait or like a character.
There's no way that
quality
game is
you
fucking
had.
serious.
Yeah.
Well, the way I
Well, no, I mean, like how's like when I gave you the apocalypse card, and it was like, how am I supposed to, like, is this a qualification that you have, like that you're the bringer of the apocalypse, or are you the apocalypse, or is that something that
is not a game that you worry about?
Yeah,
they work it in any way.
So I was just like, I'm really worried about the apocalypse.
So a little bit of background for Fun Employment. Fun Employment is a game where one person is a interviewer for a certain job, and the other players will have to create their character based off a certain number of cards and hopefully vie for the job. Whoever has the funniest or best answer chosen by the interviewer gets a point. So very much, and that's why I think we may have not gotten it wrong, but I think improved the rules. When I think about the game, and it took me a while to get into the headspace until honestly the very last round, is because the way it's structured, it reminded me of one, what's the one game? You know what I'm going to say. Cards Against Humanity. And even more so, what's the superhero one? You know the one I'm talking about? Where you construct your own superhero against someone else constructing their own superhero. And then whoever has the funniest.
I own the game.
Probably not. It was a very popular game. But that game is basically, here's all these funny cards that if I combine them, make them a very silly superhero.
A super fight.
Super fight. That's exactly what it's called.
I don't like any game like that limits you to, here's a funny catchword on a card, ding dong dongers, and then you throw that out. That's never a good time.
I think like that's what it reminded me of a lot in terms of structure. I feel like a lot of people play it like that. Like, hey, I put these cards. It's a lot funny as a trait to have.
Yeah.
And then that's
I combine these traits.
Yeah. I think eventually we saw them as stepping stones, and then you kind of
we saw more as like, hey,
you wrote your
improv.
story between them.
Yeah. I think once it started getting into voices and stuff, that's whenever I started enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, Fun Employment, highly recommend.
That's a game
that
that
if you can get out of your skin.
It would transition well to a format like this. It's there's very little to do with what's actually being said on the cards. Reading them out loud.
I think we need a few different camera angles to really sell.
Yeah, you may.
And then like a
good thing we got all these cameras.
Well, we got phones at least.
And that's what's really interesting to me is because that's a game that like you could play.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing
Yeah.
like a phone from a screen, just like waving like a pendulum.
Well, you know,
with a
Command
string.
Zone,
We definitely need a
it's tied to a
stadium.
rope.
Is it?
Yeah, and
I
just
believe
go
that.
down. Yeah, it looks super ghetto. Yeah, so and then
Huh.
if they're doing it that way,
But I was gonna say, I think it's amazing that game you could play it, and I could easily see it being one of the worst games I've ever played.
Oh my god, dude.
But
yeah.
then
That's
we
how,
played
when
it,
I
and we had
saw it.
some of the most fun that I've had playing games.
yeah, it
so,
depends on the crowd
yeah,
for sure.
I would love to watch someone like I wouldn't like to play it with them, but I'd love to watch a crowd that just is bad at improv or bad at
We need to go to like one.
That
more
is
side.
talking.
Not
Yes.
super
Yeah.
creative.
yeah, not creative, and just like let them play it. And, like
Yeah.
I guess I have big jeans. Like, yeah, so like I guess that's why I'm qualified
And
for
they
a
have
shitty job.
plenty of pockets.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely a cheerleader.
I'm
Yeah.
useful.
This
at the
game's
same time.
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that interaction going.
Oh, yeah.
On. A big bunch of rednecks, just playing that game. Like can't quite get out of their skin.
Yeah.
They're too
They
busy
don't wanna,
calling
like-
everything homo sex and
Yeah.
this, that, and the other to actually get into the game. So
I'm curious, and just kind of jumping off back to what we were talking about. Do we have any commitments for January? Like something we want to get done in January before the month is out
Like for the podcast. Or...
for the channel, yeah, or podcast. Yeah.
truthfully, I didn't know that we were making other videos until just now. But I would like to.
You don't have to. I just think that'd be
No,
a cool thing. Why
but
not?
I've been so keen to do, and everybody fucking does it. Gameplay videos though, but with friends.
Yeah.
Always play co-op games. No, I don't want to watch some jackass sit in his expensive chair, in the corner.
The same exact chair too.
Yeah,
whatever that
you
chair
know
is.
that fucking chair, that racing
Extra
chair.
whatever,
Yeah, exactly. Sitting in that chair, they got
I
no.
think they
like,
have them for $99 at Best
They're
Buy right now.
surprisingly cheap.
Oh,
Which
shoot,
makes
that's
it
cheap.
question
that
it.
cheap? Okay, get
Yeah.
the chairs.
Yeah.
Play
We're
with your
gonna get
buddies. I don't really have much of an interest in doing that.
Oh, that could be my first unboxing.
Because
video.
I have the most fun playing with friends. That's when you have those really
Get
great
some Mario
times.
Kart. I'm actually planning on getting a capture card for my N64, which I just got an HDMI hookup for. We could totally, we could use it for anything like the Switch and stuff too.
Yeah.
But I have the original Mario Kart and stuff. That could be some fun group.
There we
games.
go. I'm into that.
Yeah, that console had a lot of it. I didn't play N64 when I was a kid. I was
That sucks.
stricken just to have a PS1.
That's my nostalgia though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are
Yeah,
tired.
I was
all right.
I was the kid with the
Yeah.
PS1.
Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Yeah. I also played all
fucking
those games
tough.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Spyro.
Yeah, same.
Which I would love a
Fucking
remaster
Spyro.
if you're listening.
I was thinking about
Vicarious
Spyro
Visions, please make
Eminem
a.
shell shocked. Thanks, Caleb.
Me and my sister, we didn't have a memory card that worked for Spyro. Like, I think we had Spyro for PS1, but we played on the PS2 or however that worked.
I was in a similar situation.
So we
yeah.
just would leave the PS2 on for days on end.
Months.
playing
Trying to
the-
get-
Months.
get through it.
Metal Gear Solid, I
And
had to
then
play
one day
each
you come
one
home
like that.
And it's frozen. And you're like, well,
I went on a trip.
My whole life ruined.
Guitar Hero, the PS2 came out. I went on a road trip. This was actually in high school.
Mhm.
We had it was Guitar Hero 2. We didn't have a memory card, and we were playing on the car ride up. So we was plugged into an AC adapter, and so we made it all the way to Tennessee, or I guess it was probably maybe North Carolina at that point. And we're sitting there, and we go inside to get. And we almost made it to like the final set list, and we go in, and the dad turns the car off and turns it back on. Yeah, in order to get gas safely.
God damn it, Dad.
Yeah, so
Some risks are just worth taking.
yeah. Also the audio was hooked up to the entire car.
That's awesome.
So the fucking parents. Yeah. Well, I was pretty good at Guitar Hero back then,
Yeah.
but if you remember that game,
going
had,
on some good solos.
it had the Tom Morello guitar battle, and his dad revealed at the end that I was about ready. I was about ready to fucking lose it sitting back because the kid I was with another family had long fallen asleep. I was up to just
Is it Dylan Dowd?
it was Nick Stafford.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nick
That's
Stafford. They had rented a big ass van. We put beds in the back seat, didn't wear the seatbelts all the way up. Fuck it. And set up a TV with a PS2 on it and played the whole way there.
I think the last message I got from the Stafford family was from Mother Stafford telling me not to curse. So that was good.
Huh.
Yeah.
What was the context here?
I think I probably said a curse word on Facebook or something.
And was it a private message or was it like to the wall?
No, it was just to someone's comment, and I guess she saw it and messaged me how I shouldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
God wouldn't be very happy with that sort of thing. That sort of stuff.
Hmm.
It was very sweet, I guess.
Don't put words in God's fucking
Well, I
mouth.
think, yeah. I think previously, it wasn't in person, but it was through Nick. She told me to stop driving so fast in our neighborhood. Which I don't remember
Sounds
driving
like she
that
just,
fast.
like, makes a lot of
Fast and Furious
demands.
came out.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, probably.
He's
I was
in the
drifting in my
Corolla.
Corolla.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it.
I have a fantastic joke to tell you off camera.
Okay.
About
Now you just
it
leaving
involves
everybody on.
it involves Fast and Furious and Fortnite.
It's alright.
So-
Patreon backers.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
all
we'll-
of them.
It'll
you
be a
get to see
typed
it.
version
We're
of
gonna
the
call
joke,
it.
but it'll be
Our
just the
DLC
same.
will be called Off Camera.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the title.
The
of it.
best joke you've ever heard off camera.
So, throwing it in here right now for a video idea that would include all of us that I've been kind of excited about ever since the very
Mhm.
small discussion we had. So, since you guys are all
Sense it.
getting those figures for the Dungeons and Dragons group, and we had talked about painting them, I think it'd
Okay.
be cool to do a progress video with everybody involved. I don't know.
All
It's
right.
gonna be terrible.
It
We're
could
gonna
just
get
be-
dicked on by Jimmy.
Yeah.
It could just
It's
be-
a setup.
Jimmy-
Jim's got a
pictures.
pristine little figure over here, and my guy looks like a fucking
Yeah, we have these
crayon.
Crayola
Yeah.
Play-Doh ass fucking things.
Yeah.
Jimmy's gonna have a perfect figure.
And
I did want to
I
bring
think
that
it'd
up
be cool.
though. What like we
I'm
talked
for
about.
it.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to do some more like traveling. Like if we did get to a point where we could all like.
Or
you
we're
know,
actually all involved in
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
like
like-
the money was so good from the channel where we.
That's
just,
right.
Yeah. Once we get the subscriptions and the sponsorships,
And
that we
Patreon
could
and all that stuff. And you sell your book. It'll
Yeah.
all be great.
Yeah.
go to Austin for a weekend or go somewhere. Even drive down to like Venice or something. Just kind of goof off in a different
I
setting.
used to take a boat to Venice.
Well,
Yeah.
we
Like
could
that
we
one.
could we could probably do that.
Okay.
I mean,
But yeah, I'm definitely down with it. Why not? Yeah.
I think the Philly trip was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And
That's
I mean
great.
that's really an inspiration for this. So why not kind of keep that theme going in the future?
I don't think we did a terribly good job.
No, we did a
Making
shit
it.
job. You're probably not gonna like half of the joking times. Half the group was asleep, half of the group was like playing a game.
Yeah.
But like some of the real gems
Inebriated.
came out
Yeah.
at like 3 a.m.
See, can we
that
make a
still have-
commitment right now, though? No dead bodies.
I don't know.
I'm not comfortable.
I don't know if I can commit to that.
Because
Never say never. Never say.
Yes, I did see a dead body in San Francisco. I didn't really enjoy it, and I also didn't think, hey, Kodak
Put it on
moment.
the- put it on the
Yeah.
tube.
Yeah.
Almost got ran over by a bus. Better
It's
Snapchat this
so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what the thought process. There wasn't a thought process
between but almost been. Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it made it through the editing. Because.
because you meant to.
Yeah, but I mean, like. But what I mean is, there are a team of people. I really doubt he
Yeah,
edits
but they're
his
all
own
attached
stuff.
to. Look at Paul.
Yeah.
If he's got like a manager and stuff, like
Yeah,
what's this guy
who's-
paid for?
He's
I
attached to
don't know.
Logan
He's a
Paul.
YouTube.
Yeah, what's this
character
PR
manager.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow, a lot of
That's some bro.
a lot of decisions were made to get it to that point, and I was just like, come
No,
on,
there
guys.
wasn't. There was no decisions made.
By
But there was
several
editing of the
people.
videos.
There were a lot. There were a lot of
It's-
people involved. You can't say there weren't.
It is every day, bro. No time for decisions.
I just-
Thought, whatever.
Also, why were they going there? Did they ever talk about that? 'Cause
They said
had
they were gonna
fucking-
camp
they
there
had
for the night
groceries, yeah.
as a ghost trip. They were all
Ghost
carrying
trip.
like
See
camping.
some sad
equipment.
ghosts.
Awful.
And they walked
Yeah.
off the path. Who would have known? You walk off the path and
Yeah,
the suicide floors.
floors.
You may see a dead body.
What I am interested in seeing is some statistics of how likely that actually was,
I
as
think
far
it's
as like
pretty
how
high.
often
Defending.
people actually go there.
I think
It's
it's
decent.
pretty hot. It was the second most popular place to commit
Behind the Golden
suicide
Gate.
behind the.
There's a
Golden
bunch of
Gate.
documentaries on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like a guy who
Super
walks the
sad.
forest.
and also not
yeah.
defending. Literally no reason that should have been done, but I mean, like, what were the odds? Is what I'm.
I don't think that
curious
gets
about.
talked about enough, just because there's like so many nerds, like younger us, who are trying to like contextualize everything. I think some of those people, they're just straight up sociopaths.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't get talked about enough. Like the dude, Logan Paul's probably fucking out of his mind. I don't
Yeah.
really blame him. He's like 22 and on top of the world, so go him. But the dude is probably fucking bonkers and an asshole.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah. I think that
'Cause why
that
not?
portrays strongly. I don't even know if that needs to be an assumption as more.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
His apology came in. It doesn't mention the victim or the family.
At least his younger
Or-
brother leans into it. His Christmas album has a song called, was it Buy That Merch or something? That's the entire song. Like, buy that merch. Buy that merch. Fucking 5-year-olds like bopping their head like, this shit's good. I know music.
Oh, this boy's bumping. It's
Yeah.
bumping.
I do like YouTube, the platform, just because there is so many different age groups on there, and I feel like the dynamics. Well, yeah,
I feel like it's all
11.
8-year-olds,
Yeah.
8 to 11.
it definitely feels that way. They're a very strong force to contend with,
The
as we all do
internet
with
kinda
other
in
stuff.
general
It
feels
feels
like
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's just
how
like
I've had
video
children
games.
For a couple years.
I'm
Vlog
not,
sites.
I am not a YouTube person.
Well, I feel
I watch it. I have my subscriptions. I have like a very limited
Marcus Brown.
perspective.
Very particular.
Yeah, they're all in the same vein. I told Skylar I listen to like a bunch of old dudes bitching. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at.
I do have my curated thing, but even still, I'll run into shit like Logan Paul type stuff. I usually don't watch it, but I will say I think the dynamic's different when it comes to older generation and younger generation. Back in the day, it was just like, nah, you fucking old, you don't get it. But in this generation, it's like, oh, you're fucking old, you don't get it. We're mavericks. And now the older generations turn around like, you fucking losers. I think now more than ever, the older generation hasn't dunked on the younger generation as much as they have, which I think is probably worse. They're probably digging in their heels even more. Like, well, he did the right thing. He rose, awareness for suicide just because we're making fun of these poor 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds who barely have a functioning brain at this point.
Yeah.
They just learned division.
They're all really excited about Markiplier and PewDiePie and like
honestly, PewDiePie by far is like
nowadays. You're right. Now you're right to say that.
he has a
It's hard.
functioning brain.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure. But all of those like famous, I cannot stand their content. I cannot.
Well, especially
I do not watch their videos.
when the Logan Paul thing or anything, like it seems like once a week there's something like that's all of you. That's like 80% of the views goes to that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm just not interested anymore. I like iDubbbz a lot. He's definitely top tier when it comes to like shitting on some dudes that need it. But even then, at this point, I have a feeling maybe he feels the same because there seems to be less of those videos.
Of the videos coming out.
Yeah, I just kind of shrug. I don't get it. Why are we talking about this one person on a platform that has millions, on an Earth that has billions? Like this is the one guy we talk about. But
Yeah.
so no dead bodies though. I'm
Hands in
I
the
am-
Yeah, let's put it for the vote.
I am
Where are those pieces of paper
Yeah.
or whatever?
Superpower.
Yes.
I'm definitely overriding this one
Yeah.
with my Nazi symbol. So if hold on, I'm just
Hopefully he
purposely
listens to
messed
the
up.
He
first
drew
part.
that. It was a sad face. I don't know
Oh,
why he drew the
I'm
Nazi
sorry.
symbol. Yeah.
It was moment of weakness. Hold on, what was I trying to say? Crap. Never mind. Whatever.
I'm gonna mention something on the side. I did have a segment planned. I ditched it. It was gonna be again shitting on sponsors, but I was gonna give you a sponsor to shit on, give you a sponsor to shit
I
on.
like that.
Yeah, it's good. The punchline was so it'd be like Best Buy,
Yeah.
Target, and then St. Jude's Hospital.
Yeah.
And now you're like, no, I won't do that. Like, you don't want to be a sponsor. Like, so we could do more of that shit in the future. But I really like building up Jimmy just because he's the last person to do that, to be an awful person. That's been a through line through the entire 2 podcasts.
That's what I honestly thought that's what the Logan Paul bit was. I didn't realize that you were actually subscribed to him at one point. Like,
No, I'm
he-
still subscribed to him.
It was his
actually.
first one, I think, right?
Yeah.
No.
It was the first or
He's
second.
liking the video.
First subscription.
First or second, yeah.
No way.
We were
I think so.
tuned in.
PewDiePie for sure was probably my first. I'd
PewDiePie.
say I watch PewDiePie literally every day religiously.
Oh.
Not actually. I probably
He got a new Origins PC.
at
Did you
least
see that?
4 of 7 videos a week. I
Damn.
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Push out
actually.
daily content.
Yeah, it's every day. Literally every day.
That's where we need to get. We have enough to say.
Unbearable.
Now,
Yeah,
I
we-
definitely think that it's a different era now than what you may have experienced before. But I agree that I really like Markiplier's personality. I don't like his content, especially his new content. He actually seemed to have adapted to try to be more similar to the whole daily vlog, outlandish personality thing. I've never watched Jacksepticeye. I really don't like him at all.
Does he still cry?
Markiplier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just occasionally, you know.
That's good.
Whenever,
It's healthy.
whenever he thinks that the situation warrants it, I guess.
Maybe not like once a week. Maybe you should chill
Yeah.
on that.
I've never seen a Markiplier video. I don't think. I've
Second subscription.
Yeah.
Second?
Yeah. It was your
What's the
second
first?
Logan Paul.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, for sure.
And then,
How do you know?
I'm looking at
They
it.
So it
put
goes in order.
Oh.
Yeah. Also,
which one has
the
the most
guy,
thumbs up? Does it say?
the guy with the makeup tutorials, that's Indigo. He does like music compilation things
Ah, yes.
using
I remember
little
this.
audio bits from people's like other YouTube videos. So, you know,
I
they
remember
just
that
make
now.
make it sound like people singing and stuff. That's why I subscribe to that. I need to stop because his stuff went garbage once it became popular. He's like, I'm gonna do daily content too. It's like that doesn't work with a whole song every day. It's awful. Like, so.
That's our YouTube hot take.
That's right.
Yeah.
YouTube garbage.
Yeah.
At least it's so low stakes still. Like people aren't talking about like Nazis and stuff. It's just like this one asshole did an asshole thing. So that's kind of neat. That's all right.
I was reading an article though about how this and a lot of other things like you were talking about has kind of revealed this whole new market within YouTube, and it's not even new, but it's becoming a big thing.
Talking about the little kids.
It's the
Don't
like
they have YouTube kids?
talk
Can't they get
about
the fuck
crap.
off our lawn?
No, it's not just
Oh.
the kids. It's just like whenever anything happens, you have all these hot takes. Yeah, where you have a bunch of people where
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
like I didn't even watch the whole video, but this guy sucks. Like
Yeah.
people referencing things that never happened based on vague comments that they read about it, and it's like,
I mean, it's what gets paid for. Like, I mean,
People
animation
would read the
got
articles.
dicked over years ago, so they don't get any money. So you'll see less animation stuff.
yeah,
and
true.
Shit like that. Also, it's just way harder instead of just talking to a camera like, yo, this
And yelling
dude
about
who
it.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
It's the best. The best thing is I'm not in that culture at all. So when it bubbles to the top of like all pop culture, it's always just like fuck.
The thing I hate most about it. Do you know who Philip DeFranco is?
I do.
He's been on
Of
YouTube
him.
a while, and I do like him as a person. And he's trying to do this news thing. Well, he's been doing that for like 10 years now. And like every fucking video he puts out, he has his face in every single one. And like normal news people, they have a face depending on what story they're going for. So sad story, sad face. So I see his dumb fucking sad face. He's like, we have to talk about Logan Paul. Like, come on, dude. You're like 33. What the fuck are you talking? I know you're on the platform and everyone's talking about goddamn YouTube, but you talked about making this news network. If you're just doing fucking videos about Logan Paul, like, I'm not taking you seriously, but maybe fuck it. Maybe I'm not that guy. Maybe I should watch Vice.
Well, it's YouTube is such a big part of the culture now. Like it's everyone's in
But
on it.
it's very
Everyone.
focused. It's like we're all talking about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
All talking about this dude. Fucking Viner. He did a backflip and got real big. Fuck. This is the guy. Not like Marcus Brown or like one of those guys who are super good. Every frame of painting. They don't do videos anymore, unfortunately.
I don't do videos anymore, unfortunately.
Until now. I figure now that I've gotten permission to upload stuff, I'll upload the first episode 0 tomorrow. And then we'll see. But I think I can do this episode Friday.
Yeah.
I think Wednesday, Friday, like record Wednesday, release Friday.
If you need me to edit stuff, then
I think this one will be
for
less. The other one, I made a bunch of dumb bullshit that took way longer than it should have. Also, editing a podcast is lame. It sucks.
yeah.
It's not exciting. Like you're not putting together a bunch of pieces to make something new. It's just like, here's the thing, add stuff for context.
I tried way too hard with the HeroClix stuff. Dan, you may watch this. I don't know if you'll be at an hour and 47 minutes in, but
I watch your shit. I don't even play HeroClix. Come on,
yeah,
man.
true. But Dan is not conditioned for speaking, and it
Oh, this is gonna go
shows
well.
whenever.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Dan!
So Dan knows. Dan knows because I've complained. So and it definitely got a lot better. But in some, there's a lot of
for speaking.
there's a lot of ums and uhs in
I see.
in the middle of things. Just like ooh, and then.
We probably
Yeah.
do that.
He'll
Oh, we
pop-
got vocal tics for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like at least there
Words
is a
we resort
consistent flow of conversation.
Yeah.
There's not one person talking and then they can't think of a word, so it stops and their hands are just out in the air for like 6 seconds. So all of that said, whenever I would edit our podcasts, I would clip all of those pieces out.
Oh,
And
shit.
so it was like jark, 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 but it would
Yeah.
sound like a functional sentence, but
It
it
was
took
like
so
a
much time to make it
old
sound
school vlog
functional.
type
Yeah,
setup, yeah.
so it was fun. It took a real long time, but
That's cool.
I think that comes from, well, one, you only have 2 people, and 2, because it's such a focused thing.
Yeah.
Like you get,
You're
unless you're in that rhythm already and you've developed that, or you're just used to podcasts in general, I think that's a tough thing to pull off and constantly talk. And also, like, with just 2 people, you're just not the same. Like, I feel comfortable interrupting you, and I think that's,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah, so there isn't like, oh, I'm going to be quiet and listen to everything you say, and then I'll wait for that pause, and then I'll say it. Yeah, see, that was good. That was
That's
good.
It's good.
Great goof.
Whereas normal conversations, you know, it's everyone waiting for
I
their
keep
turn,
hitting this
which is what our friendship is. So that's, you know, we can really bring that out.
Yeah, I have a lot harder time, I think, in a group like this than I did with just the two people.
I say feel free, just jump in there with something.
No.
Even if we like,
Nothing Kyle
Just
says is important.
Yeah,
Just as
for real.
well feel
Honestly.
free to jump on you.
I think one of the first things I said about Jimmy, because he said something that I disagreed with, and I said it, but then I'm like, who the fuck cares what I think? Like, still like your thing, but I just disagree. So, like, if you even feel like probably people aren't gonna agree, the other three aren't gonna agree, fuck it, just say it. Why not?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
well, I have a lot of controversial opinions in general that I try to keep to
Remember-
myself.
I mean, it depends. Like,
the internet probably won't like me if I
yeah,
say
I
everything
mean,
I
leave
want.
the racist stuff behind if you could.
Oh, well, you know.
stuff,
Check that
Sorry
bag to the
about
door.
that.
But like I
Yeah.
said earlier, we've got the gun. We need the projectiles here.
Yeah.
So you load them in with
Yeah,
your
Americans
great
and guns.
opinions,
Oh, thanks.
and we'll fire that
You guys rip
video
them
off.
apart.
Yeah.
Hmm. You know.
I'm gonna have a little sign that I'll put up when I disagree with Jimmy. Please don't hold me
Yeah.
accountable. What I'm saying right now. Just in
We
case
could have
you-
a disclaimer at the beginning,
Yeah.
like they do. It's like the thoughts and opinions are not necessarily the thoughts and opinions of the other three people.
Yeah, actually, could you go ahead and
Other
blur out
than
my
Jim.
face and make my voice really
Got a voice modulator.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I think there's one thing we could do. I think if there's anything structured we can do, it's at the bookends of the podcast.
Mhm.
Where one, hey, what are you doing? Just an easy sort of icebreaker. And at the end, something like, what's something that you experience that you recommend? So it could be like a book or something. Like, hey, here's my recommendation of the week. Or that, yeah, fuck it. It could be fucking really cool.
Recommend it if you haven't
Yeah.
tried it.
Yeah, kids, just wait. It's gonna come. It's gonna be great.
Literally.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't know that word yet.
Probably
Mm.
13
They probably know that word.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's 2018.
Kids are
now.
different.
I can't imagine like the weird porn issues they're gonna have.
It's
when
gonna be
they're
rough.
16. Yeah.
It's like the things that the internet is currently tackling with nothing but incest porn on every other tab. Like, you know.
Like, is it gonna circle around where like magazines come back because they're just so bored with moving picture? Now, and also VR, which is now the new
That's gotta
scary
be
shit.
it. That's-
You know, there's a 9-year-old who was really lucky, got an Oculus. Dude's just beating his meat to VR porn like left and right.
His family just watching in awe as
Yeah.
no one knows how to interrupt him. He's furiously struggling.
He's on the playground like, guys.
He's got a Gear VR, pulls out his Samsung Galaxy S8.
He's gonna be so fucking disappointed when it actually happens. Because it turns out he's not fucking an amazing, like, super talented porn star. It's just some poor girl who's trusted him with her
Who was
virginity.
also watching VR porn and thought that this is exactly.
It's gonna be a bunch of limp dicks in the future, my friend.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get it up for anything.
I don't know. At least
And
this
it's because
lends
the future
itself.
is sex robots.
At least this lends
Exactly.
itself
Oh,
to
have I pitched
wearing
my
the
idea?
headset during the act. I feel like that might.
That's a Black Mirror.
Wait, hold
episode.
on, I've got
Is
an
it?
idea. Let me
I haven't seen it.
let me drop this hot take. So, VR, good VR is very expensive. You gotta get the PC, you gotta get the headset, controllers, audio, everything very expensive. Everyone's not gonna be able to afford that.
Mm.
Everyone's gonna be able to afford that luxurious jerkin experience. Not buying it, whole cow or whatever they call that, whole boat.
So we could create like a peep show style thing.
Yeah, exactly. So what my
Hmm.
my picture is here, and now this technology already exists. You have this contraption that straps onto your dick. That is then whatever's going on
You want me to go
inside.
grab it from the other room so they can see it?
Yeah, we need a visual representation. You've got this contraption that straps onto your dick, which is then remotely connected to a dildo, connected to another worker, maybe entertainer.
Entertainer's better.
That is then entertaining themselves with said thing. So you would go into a room, you would select maybe your entertainer, right? These could be robots, whatever they are, pre-recorded. It's like you go into a massage chair and hit you want the shiatsu, you want the whatever. So you pick your setting, strap this thing to your junk, put the thing on your head, climb into the sex swing that we've got, whatever. It's gonna contort your limbs as you go. But the whole idea is, since everyone can't afford these,
Yeah.
we offer it, and it's like you come in, pay for a 30-minute sesh, probably don't last. You know,
They didn't.
these robots are good. And then so you're going to make your money. It's going to be a big investment up front, but you're going to make your money up over time. I guarantee this is already happening in Japan. I guarantee it's happening.
I wonder why they haven't really addressed, like, I'm thinking back now, like the Assassin's Creed series. There wasn't any time where Desmond was like,
Clicked over a tab.
"Y'all want to get that second century
Animus.
puss."
Yeah. No consequences, baby.
And have you seen the Assassin's Creed movie?
No.
In that one, the Animus moves with what you're doing. So just having like Michael Fassbender just triumph the air would be an amazing scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's our future voice.
Also, that movie, I didn't mind it. It wasn't great,
Didn't see it.
but
No.
a lot of people, I don't know, it was fine.
It seemed like for good, big time fans of the series. But
I
anyway,
guess
that's my
I did not
idea
hate it.
on how we
Yeah.
can make money. We need to get
So,
in now.
really,
Yeah.
just
I have one headset that's probably capable. A PSVR, I think I could probably
I may have a
access it.
competing product.
But why do you have to have the workers? That's what I don't get.
Well, here,
They're not
I can take the
workers.
workers out of it.
They're not workers, right?
Well, all
Well,
right, so
but
what I
kind
got,
of variety are we offering? Is
No,
are
my-
we gonna have like Olga the janitor as one
you
of
could
these
have,
options?
you could probably. I mean, it would take like how much production value do we have, or how much money do we have to get that upfront cost? Like, do we want to initially offer like a mom fucks son experience because that's really hot right now? Yeah,
Is
it's
I would also hold up my. I do not agree with this.
That's a very
you
popular.
can hold it up. The internet's not going to pay
The,
attention.
the internet agrees with me, Alex, that it's a very popular genre.
Yeah.
Not saying I agree with it or I click those
Maybe just a
videos.
Google Chrome extension
Yeah.
to somehow hide it.
Yeah.
Just any of those keywords gets rid of it. Don't care if it's fucking step. Just get it out.
Yeah.
We're really in the wrong industry right now.
yeah,
we
I-
should really get into the
Those
porn
videos that
industry.
say not mom humping son are they're not fooling me. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know. That's
Also, like, I watched the video. They didn't say anything, so
Mm.
I think there's some bullshit going
they
on.
just added those
Yeah.
names. So yeah, you'd have many preset settings. You don't need it. It's not a live worker.
Yeah.
You can do a surcharge for that. You could like jerking it plus.
Oh, for sure.
Or-
Yeah. I think I got an even cheaper model. We
Okay.
can get like a kid's kaleidoscope
Okay.
with like one image in there, a picture, and that's it.
Who's jerking it though? How you?
But then you can sell it on the playground really easy. Just give it to a couple kids. Like, trust me, it's gonna sell.
Yeah. Now the one problem I have with this is you've got this contraption that's strapped to your dick.
Mm.
Just so much nut, right?
Oh, for sure.
How do you clean it?
That's why I think.
Philip has brought a novel solution. He
Okay.
says in the produce biz they have foam sand.
How much have you talked about this?
It's
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, someone's gonna make this money. It might as well
Yeah.
be me. I pitched my idea to Phil, and he brought some interesting, additions to my idea. So this
Mm.
foam sand, you spray it on something, and he says you could spray it on, just the bathroom floor and
Oh.
wipe it one time,
Yeah.
and it would be fit to eat off of. It would be that clean. So that is our solution. That's how you dissuade any notions of uncleanliness
I
Did
figured
they
they'd
spray
be
it on
like,
themselves?
and
though?
cross contamination. No,
spray
okay.
the sand
just
on them.
up in the thing.
Can we guarantee that it's gonna go up in the thing and not like blow back onto?
Well, you're not in it
'Cause
when
it's
it's
in it.
happening. You got
Okay.
the foam sand goes in to like wash
Like
it out.
after use.
Well,
Like
more
someone,
like
someone has a
post.
terrible
do
use.
they have to clean
It's a terrible
themselves? Is more what I'm wondering.
Oh.
Because they're in the thing when it explodes.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's gonna be some blowback from that.
We really gotta talk about this?
Yeah.
There's a vacuum on the end.
Hmm?
What'd you say?
What, is we really gonna do this right now?
There's got to be something that's away.
Maybe
from
it
there.
warns you.
Away from there.
It gives you the choice. Like, hey,
it takes it to our secondary market, which is
Are you into this or are you not?
Yeah.
I figured it'd be like a plastic bag you
Yeah,
just
paint
remove.
fish
Yeah.
inside.
Like the inside of, like the thing that comes out of a turkey. Like the plastic
a
thing you
baser.
just kind of
Yeah.
pull
I'm
out.
picturing that we could offer like a subsidized plan where we then take your sperm and put that in a bank and offer that too.
A
oh,
discount.
they get a cut.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's kind of like that
A
jet.
cut as a discount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you pay with a
Percentage off.
debit card, you get a lower price. If you pay, if we take your nut and sell it, you get a lower
We're gonna
price.
have to learn a lot about the customer because who's the buyer going to be? Like, hey, I really want a donor. Like, hey, what is that? Like, it's some cum.
you can just scroll through. You just scroll through a search
Guy's name's
history.
Jerry.
No, you got the search history. You know everything you need to know about this
I
man.
guess so,
Like,
Well, I can tell you he jerked it to a mother.
He probably went to school looking at the spell.
Yeah.
Everything's there. And on that note, should we end it there? with one thing to recommend, maybe try that out and see how that works.
One thing to recommend.
Yeah, just something
okay,
you experience. I don't know.
I feel like that qualifies as
Like recommendation of the week.
someone's recommendation. I don't know.
Well, that's unattainable. That's a dream.
That's a business
That's a
idea.
dream.
Really.
That's a
Development.
dream.
Yeah.
Recommendation
And
to
that's not a
try
recommendation.
Cameron's
We will
business
sue
idea.
if we see that out
Yeah,
there. So.
a TMB.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you have anything that you would like to recommend? Or just anything that you may want to put out there?
Real big channel on YouTube, Logan Paul. Subscribe. No.
He needs the help.
Yeah.
Put my sign up right
Hold
now.
on. Let's start at Kyle and work around this way because I am not prepared for this. Hold on.
Okay, actually, I have a good gimme. For any of you video game lovers out there, there's a book that I finished and loaned out to my buddy called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by, I believe, Jason Schreier. Schreier, I think is what it is. He is the news editor over at Kotaku. It's a bunch of little vignettes of different developers and what games they've worked on. Everything from Destiny 2 to the canceled Star Wars 1313.
a lot of very popular games. Uncharted 4, Stardew Valley. So kind of
Oh, yeah.
all the scope. A lot of games that I really enjoyed. It's
Yes.
kind of cool to see.
So from one-man teams to huge 400-person teams. And it just kind of gives a good 20, 30-minute sort of description of, how is the development process? Do they run into any challenges? And I think it would be a good read for anyone interested in video game development or just interested in how video games work and how chaotic the process can be. So that's my recommendation of the week. That is Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by Jason Schreier. Good book.
Guess I'll go with some stuff that I've been. If you go to my YouTube right now, it's full of like beard videos because I've been watching like a bunch of
good.
beard content.
There you go.
Yeah, so
I really empathize with that.
yeah, so
Watching
anyone-
those videos makes it grow faster.
Any of the fans that are out there growing their beard right now with me to kind of like share this experience, I would, if you haven't already seen Beard Brand, check out their stuff. It's pretty good actually.
It's very niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
There's a beard podcast.
He was
out
actually
there, but
he was
we can
actually
compete.
on Shark Tank.
Okay.
The guy that started it. So maybe now you're in. But they passed
For
on.
that, I'm out.
Oh,
They
for that
passed on.
reason.
But he's made a bunch of money for himself now. So he those videos are pretty good. They kind of explain like maybe just some things that you're curious about, like how to trim this part of your beard to flow into this part so it doesn't look like you just have a big bush on your face. And my other thing would be I have this dope comb called Captain Fawcett's beard comb, and it's spelled Fawcett. I just really like it. I have to carry it now because otherwise I do a lot of playing with my beard and it'll just poof out throughout the course of the day. So I have to have something to comb it back down. So that's my recommendation.
Really bringing it back to the start. Right?
Yeah. Mine's full circle. I don't fuck around over here.
I didn't plan that far ahead. My recommendation is, I guess, talking about YouTube. There's a guy who's doing a lot of great videos. He doesn't put out content super often. His name's Joseph Anderson. I think his the YouTube name or channel name is just Joseph Anderson. He does really in-depth analyses of different video games. A lot of ones that I really enjoy. He talks about Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Last of Us, Bloodborne, all games that are really. Maybe that's why I found them, but they all struck home with me pretty hard. And so, if you're looking for something that kind of dives pretty deep into different games and whatever, and you're willing to like sit down and listen to somebody else's opinion, and I think he's got a lot of really good ones. And especially if you're into those games, you just want to Fallout 4. But yeah, that's a really good channel, and that's kind of what I've been into lately. I've been watching a lot of his shit.
All right. Jimmy, you got one?
I recommend checking out the Walking Simulator tab on Steam. I heard that there actually is a Walking
there is.
Simulator tab.
There
on
is.
Steam.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Oh man, I heard
Fucking
it's
Gabe Newell.
great. It's got
He
some
could
good
walk some
games
more.
in there,
Yeah, he could.
and
Sorry.
you know,
Billionaire.
Fat boy.
good for if you want to take a walk around your neighborhood, but you don't feel like getting out of your chair. You just simulate it instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the recommendation?
That's all I
Just go to
got.
Steam, check out Walking Simulator.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
there
right.
you go. Let's see. Should I wrap it up again since I introed it? All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Game Bangerz podcast. We will return, hopefully, with an episode 2. and we'll fucking figure out something. Maybe a logo. That seems like maybe something we should do.
Step 2.
That is step 2, logo. 1, the name. 2, what we're doing. 3, logo.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
For a score, and I'm scarred, and I'm barred from the festival to kidnap the lineage and make a mess of it.